1939. Gotham City has no heroes. Its people, no hope. Its youth, no future.
Evening, boys and girls. Who's up for some laughs?
Terry McGinnis was part of the problem.
Right there.
You can't control your temper, and you'd better if you expect to get anywhere in life.
Yeah, I'll be a big success, just like you.
Until a moment of violence brought him to the door of a man named Bruce Wayne.
Let's put a smile on his face.
Leave him alone. Once known as the Batman.
Man, you're something. You okay?
Now, the Dark Knight will rise again to drive the shadow of evil from the streets of Gotham. Let's go! Supervillains, beware! There's a new Batman in town. Batman Beyond. Weeknights at 6:30.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman. Justice returns to Gotham.
Welcome to my world.
Only Toonami. The land of Eternia is a paradise with a problem. An act of betrayal has created the ultimate evil.
My face!
And his name is Skeletor.
Eternia will be mine! Battle position!
The only thing that can stop his evil horde is a legend no one believes in.
A hero shall emerge.
And a prince with an attitude.
All this battle training is just fun and games.
Now, a sword will choose its master. A boy will become a man. And a hero will be born. Toonami is proud to present He-Man like you've never seen him before in an all-new original movie. Masters of the Universe. Next Friday at 4. Only Toonami.
4 turtles, mutated beyond recognition. For 15 years, the brothers hid in the sewers, training in the ancient ways of the ninja.
You cannot simply walk amongst the humans.
But we can certainly fly. Woohoo!
Now the teenagers finally surface, but the welcoming committee isn't quite what they expected.
Prepare to battle, costume fools.
We're not wearing costumes.
Don't miss the world premiere of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saturday, February 8th, 10:30 a.m. Only in the Fox Box.
The original Justice League has become a memory.
I am resigning from the Justice League.
What's gonna happen to the League now?
We rebuild. From the ashes of that great conflict, a new team has arisen. A much, much bigger team.
Each of you brings something different to the table.
Old friends, new heroes. And as usual, plenty of bad guys jumping up to get beat down.
Calm down, and I'll let you go. How about you kiss my ass?
Watch out, evildoers. There's nowhere to run, because this year they're all around you. The League is unlimited. Toonami presents an all-new original series, starring every superhero worth cheering for, and then some. Justice League Unlimited, premiering July 31st at 8:30 p.m.
Now where am I exactly?
Among friends.
There's strength in numbers. Only Toonami.
In a future where anyone could be a cyborg, cops are a little different. The legendary cyberpunk classic finally comes to television in an all-new original series, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. New episodes every Saturday night at 12:30. The future is now.
Every night around the world, the children sleep, unaware of danger lurking in the shadows. But this night, a strange tune floats on the wind, and the children, one by one, begin to disappear.
I wonder where she could be going.
They are taken to a land of sweet memories and used to power an evil that feeds on their dreams.
My wonderful black beam hole is consuming dream energy from children.
Now, it's up to Sailor Moon and the Sailor Soldiers to put an end to this nightmare. This time, they're gonna need a little help.
Sailor Neptune!
Sailor Moon Super S, next Friday at 5:30. Dream on.
The children!
Only Toonami.
This place is a town of forgetfulness.
40 years ago, everything we knew was destroyed. The face of the planet changed forever.
There isn't anyone who really knows exactly what did happen.
The survivors left without memories. In the aftermath, a new society has formed.
I perform a much-needed job here in the city of amnesia.
In Paradigm City, the rich close themselves into giant domes, while the poor must live without protection. But one man stands for something more, and he does it in serious style.
As a professional, I just try to do my best.
His name is Roger Smith, the Negotiator.
Try this.
Goes against my principles, but I don't have a choice.
His allies, an android, a butler,
Leave this up to me.
and Big O.
It's showtime!
When they start a job, they always see it through.
Rest in peace! Bye-bye.
Enemies of Paradigm City, beware. There's a new robot on the block.
You're not going anywhere! You crazy little fool! You're gonna get yourself killed! Time to finish this!
We can't stay here if we do!
It's ended once and for all!
Big O, weekdays at 5:30. Good guys still wear black. Only Toonami.
The destruction of Unicron has created a black hole, which threatens to swallow the planet.
Let's go!
Now, the Autobots' only hope is to find the ancient planet keys.
Prepare for battle!
But as usual, the Decepticons aren't playing along.
Beat it, Megatron! Oh, really?
Transformers Cybertron. New episodes, Saturdays at 7. Unlock the power.
Gotcha!
Only Toonami.
From beyond any known galaxy, bringing with them the laws and ideals of their doomed planet Thundera, come the Thundercats. Jaga, the wise. Tigra, the invisible. Chitara, the quick. Wily Cat and Wily Kit, a cunning junior duo. Patroll, the deadly. And the Snarf. The Thundercats, all sworn to serve their young lord, Lion-O, and to instruct him in the secrets of the Eye of Thundera. the eye embedded in the hilt of the mystic Sword of Omens, and the source of the Thundercats' power.
Thunder, 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 Thundercats! Ho!
Pursuing the Thundercats to Third Earth, and determined to possess the Eye of Thundera for their own evil purposes, are the hideous mutants of the planet Plundar, led by the reptilian Sly. They form an unholy alliance with the ageless devil priest of First Earth, Mum-Ra.
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Hello, dear viewers. I hope you're all doing well today. Hope you're all doing well today. So, you know what we normally do here, right? So go ahead and say in the chat what's the first thing we always do on a new stream. With very few exceptions, what's the first thing we always do? All right, what's the first thing? Herbal Bunny got to it first. Housekeeping! Except this time, it's not so much housekeeping as it is cleaning up an entire room that, like, had a tornado fall in on it. So, light stuff first, right? I have seen the new Masters of the Universe trailer. I am horrifically unimpressed. It looks like every other modern, like, MCU or DC movie that's come out in the past decade. The story seems extremely uninspired. If you can't do a He-Man movie on Eternia and only on Eternia, you suck. You suck! Now, part of the problem of being in the spaces of vintage stuff like this, right? Especially when it comes to talking about reboots or whatever, is that unfortunately, you have to share space with a bunch of culture war grifting losers. So I want to make this very clear. I do not care that Man-at-Arms is black. Man-at-Arms is cool regardless of the color of his skin. My problem with making Man-at-Arms black is the fact that there are actual black characters in Masters of the Universe that they always ignore in favor of an easy palette swap because, God forbid, they learn to freaking write. If they cannot put Champ Clamp in a movie, if they can't do that, they suck. So I don't trust it. It's going to be awful. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be filled with a bunch of cringe humor and a bunch of stupidity. I don't trust it, and I hope it dies and burns horrifically. So, that's the light thing. Now, we are currently dealing with a dramageddon in the community right now, which is funny because other drama people that I speak to, specifically the streamer bros, right? They're like, things have been so slow. There's nothing interesting going on, and then God looked down and said, oh, they think it's slow. Check this out. Watch what's going to happen. And so we have what happened with Turkey Tom going on. I don't know everything. All right? But it ain't looking good for Tom. One of those things of a lot of people who chest thump, right, and crow the most about how X thing is bad, especially if it's something innocuous like being trans in general or whatever, tend to be the individuals who probably have something to hide about it, you know? So I'm going to leave that to people like Falgio, the Yacht Block. He's in chat. Hi, Falgio. You can go watch his coverage if you want more about that. I don't plan to cover it as it is now. So that was one thing. What was the next thing? Well, there was the Dreamer debate from earlier this week, which, Dreamer's response, chat. I'm going to ask one or two, option one or two, right? I'm not going to put it in an official poll. I don't feel like it. Do you think he responded by one, saying, you know what? I was just wrong. I lost the debate fair and square. I concede my points. I think I'm going to move on with life. Or two, guys, I'm actually still right. I'm a victim, by the way, and Lyo's a big, mean groomer man. One or two. The first one or second one. What do you think you did? What do you think you did? Tell me. Put it in the chat. So we're waiting for that answer, right? We're waiting for that answer. The next thing that happened was I get a message from Rin. And for those of you who don't remember Rin, Rin is from the infamous Rin call, right? When we lost power here, and I came to talk to them while I was in the Walmart. I spent 5 minutes in McDonald's, and people tell you, oh, Lyle, you yelled at an autistic minor while you were at McDonald's. They're not a minor. Stop calling them a minor. They were in their freaking 20s. Stop it! Made good with Rin like 2 years ago. So I keep an eye on them. They let me know when there's a problem. I care very much about them. But they came to me in an absolute panic. Why'd they come to me in a panic? Well, for those of you who may remember, there's an individual from 2022 by the name of Septipaws. Now, Septipaws, I'm not going to go into deep detail. I still need to finish the Problem with Carmen Rider series because he's a main player there. Septi, by the way, you're all correct, made a fool of himself, so he got destroyed in his own comment section. Feel free to go check that out. It's really funny. Septi is a degenerate freak. And I'm not saying that in the right wing like grifter saying so degenerate. The dude has drawn pornography of minors OCs that they used to identify themselves with, got bullied by the minor about it, deleted it, and then asked his kid-touching friends to make sure they save it so it's not lost media, was moderator in a server where people did this constantly and drew rape art of YouTubers they liked or didn't like, whatever. Some of which have stated before, and this is key, that they would like to sexually assault Rin, because that's what a sane person does, right? And except he was caught in his fur affinities having both Shota porn and feral porn. So, you tell me what that is, chat. So, a couple years ago, in 2023, he, quote-unquote, faked his death. He died. He died and was no longer online because he's so dead. And then Rin announces that they're going to make a video about Septipaws. And what do you know? This random account reaches out. It's Septi. Of course, it's Septi. Septi would never kill themselves. Septi's ego would not allow it. Septi thinks they're the greatest thing ever created. So, decides to say, well, Rin, I think you might have some misplaced anger about me. We need to correct the record, so we get a call organized. And the call had the following individuals. Rin, Asuka, Ephraim, Septi, and me. Now, I want to be very clear. Asuka, Rin, and Ephraim had genuine questions and wanted actual answers, so we all decided it's best that they all go first. We'll reveal later on why that was a good decision that Asuka actually put out there that I go last because, yeah. So it gets a little emotional, obviously, a little preachy on Rin's end. You know, I love him, but still, you know, a little preachy, a little moral flaggy. But then we get to me, and chat. You probably would expect me to come in there. Septi, you have done some irreparable damage to people. You are a terrible human being, and you should be banished from the online space for your crimes. Yes, that's not what I did. I did zero moral flagging. I told Septi multiple times to kill themselves, and that I'm not here to hold them accountable. I'm here to push them to do that. And I gave them details on how to do it. And I bullied them horrifically. In fact, I do have a regret, though, and I am sorry. I should have done it more. So, the call ended. Most people thought they got their closure. And then Septi found out, because apparently Septi didn't want the call recorded. Now, I recorded the call because I don't care. I live in a single-party consent state. Die. Well, Septi, let's go ahead and do another poll. So, Septi finds out the call is recorded. Knows it wasn't Rin that did it. Knows who did it. Knows it's me. Lio Convoy did it. So, did Septi, 1, immediately approach me, thump their chest at me, and say, Lio, you better delete that, or there will be consequences? Or B, go into Rin, the most vulnerable of all of us, knowing what Rin's like, knowing Rin's panic, and threaten Rin? So is it 1 or 2? 1 or 2. Oh no, Asuka, we had a lot of back and forth. I also did tell them to do so. Well, you guys will hear the call eventually. So, 1 or 2, what do you think I did? Or not I did. What do you think Septi did? Do you think Septi came at me or came at Rin? Oh, those of you with ones. Shame, shame, shame. Septi would never come at me directly. Septi went to the vulnerable person, went to Rin. And what did Septi tell Rin? Did Septi say, hey, Rin, I really don't appreciate that this was recorded. I have concerns. No. Septi tried to hit Rin with a whole bunch of legal sophistry towards me, even though I wasn't there, trying to crow about the legality of the call, which we'll get into, because oddly, that's part of what we're going to talk about today. And And then, in their brilliance, keep in mind, Septi's a good person, threatened to send Ren's docs to the very people who have drawn rape porn of them and said they wanted to rape them. Such a good person. Such a good person. So, what was my reaction? Was my reaction to panic? Maybe get a Discord call together to plan? No, I took the screen caps, I put them on my channel, and I started talking about how Septi's a freak and bullying them. So Septi, of course, cannot stand their ego being challenged, and that's when Septi showed up in my comment section, right? Right? And tries to chest them about law. So then I looked at the statutes, because I'm already familiar with them. And of course, the statutes don't actually say what Septi wanted them to say. Septi was trying to do what a lot of people in the SCC and ACC do, and what we're going to see tonight, and try to lawyer LARP and use sophistry to try to intimidate people. And here's the thing, it doesn't work on me. And the funny thing, you guys are going to love this. It's gone now because he deleted and ran. Septi said that I would not have the courage to post my address. that if I was so sure there will be no criminal charges on me, that I should give them my address. Did I in this case? No, because, brother, if you're coming at me screeching about how you want my address, just go on my channel somewhere. Just go on my channel anywhere. You'll find it. So, Septi realized, my intimidation tactics are not going to work, so I'm going to run away. Like they always do. So eventually I will release that call, among other things. So, we're halfway. All right? We're halfway through Dramageddon. What happened next? KP happened next. What did KP do? And we're gonna take that for a moment and we're gonna put it all the way at the end, so I can segue into what we're gonna talk about, right? Because that's the purpose of the stream. What else did I find? So, for those of you who may remember, a certain commentary debate bro with the IQ of sludge and about as much like knowledge on how to talk to women by the name of Aiden has been obsessed with trying to get me in call because he's just so big-brained, and I'm so scared of him. No, I denied him the call for multiple reasons, but chief among them is that it's really funny to watch him freak out over being told no. If somebody freaks out to being told no to the point that it becomes an obsession to get a yes and to bully them into a call or try to arm string them into one, you're just an idiot. And any woman who's ever been around Aiden needs to make sure that they keep their eye on their drink at all times. But anyways, Aiden got so butt mad that I was not talking to him, and that I would not engage with him, he threatened to dox my wife. Threatened to call her. A couple leaked calls where he's talking about sexually assaulting and killing my wife. Now, in this, he also talks about astroturfing my wife's work by pretending he has an account of hers agreeing with the ICE killings, so it'll get her fired. Because he was saying that he was going to try to push her and I to suicide. So I'll make something very clear. If somebody were foolish enough to somehow succeed in astroturfing all of that and damaging my life to that degree, suicide's not going to be my response. It's a different type of side. I'll let you think about that. Because when you take away something from a man who knows violence, there's only one thing left to him, right? So, anyways, the question was, well, how did Aiden get some of this information? Well, some of it got dropped recently. Now, I've known some of this behind the scenes. I'm not going to tell you by whom. Goat Cato. The first person to give Aiden anything about my wife. You know, Goat Cato from the animation meme community, who I've been on friendly terms with for a while now, until they lost their mind after they got tutted for some bad behavior. And we're not going to go into detail about that, right? But not only Goat Cato got it from their friend Frick the Pirate. So, I want to be very clear here. There are things I know about. We're going to cover. There's information I have. We're going to go over. Not tonight, but later. Goat, if you want to try to talk this out, you're welcome to take a shot at it. But I think I'm done with deranged little freaks pretending like they're cool with me to then try and snake me, and especially bringing my wife into it, because now, because of your actions, you made it very clear to anyone who ever going forward, not me, I want to be very clear, I'm not doing this to you, and I don't want to. If somebody wants to do Life-Ruination on you, now you're open for it. So if you ever, unfortunately, ever find a partner willing to put up with your insanity, they're free game to everyone. Now, we're going to put that aside. That'll be a different stream. Right? That'll be a different little conversation. So, what did KP do? Right? What did KP do? Did KP, one, apologize, realize this has gone on long enough, swallow their pride, and do what an adult does, or two, quadruple down and start attempts at life ruination? One or two, chat. Which one do you think it was? One or two? One or two? Let's hear it. Humst has messaged me. I always get messages when I'm streaming. Also, since I know KP's listening and KP is very litigious about all our information, I'm going to post something in the chat. So a friend of mine by the name of Pizza, KP, he has all your details as far as your videos go, the metadata, the comments, everything. It's in this Google Drive. It's in the side chat. Feel free to go after him. That'd be really funny. So, yes, number 2. KP has decided to go for life ruination and put out a 90-plus page Google Doc going after every person that embarrassed her, leaked her stuff. We're going to go over quite a bit of it, maybe not all of it. There's some of it I'll be genuine, I don't care about. And it's going to be the first person certainly we don't care about. We're going to clarify some things. But here's one thing I am tired of, right? There are people out there that think that I'm sabotaging every single person I try to help by nature of it being me or that whatever, right? So there's 5 people in the past year or two that I've tried to help own what they've done because I've been in a position where, of course, I've done so. It shouldn't be that hard. If a 40-year-old man can do it, clearly these younger people who have been in these online spaces longer should, but they have all failed. Why did they all fail? Because none of them could suck it up and just deal with the fact that they screwed up. Had nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Now, I want to be clear about a few things. Number 1, KP did not actually write this doc. Their team did. And what about their team? It's a very curious question. We're going to address that in a single moment, because I have to pull some things up. Yes, indeed, I have to pull some things up. One moment. Because I took some screen caps, you see. Some very fancy screen caps, but I forgot to screen cap some other things, so you have to give me a moment. That is not screen capper tool, that is 7-zip. Very smart of me. So, when it comes to KP, I'm going to break a somewhat rule of mine, because I don't know if any of you noticed, but generally, when I cover people with scandalous behavior, very, very rarely, and I do mean very rarely, do I get to the personal level. You have to push me to a certain degree. So I don't tend to, say, make fun of their appearance, make fun of their work, make fun of their art, make fun of their family dynamic. The only person I've done that with recently, I believe, was Jar, because Jar crossed that line towards Ponder. So I took shots at Jar. This is also going to be an exception. I'm not going to be nice to KP. I'm not going to do the gentlemanly thing. She doesn't deserve it. I have stuck my neck out for KP. I have been the only person in her corner for the majority of this, not because I agreed with her, but because I was trying to get her to actually recognize there's a problem here. You need to own it. You guys heard the call I had with her. Trust me, there was a lot of that, right? So, something to definitely keep in mind when it comes to this crazy, crazy woman. I have been kind. I have been polite. I have been neighborly. I have done whatever I needed to try to help. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to try to help people when they need it. KP did not care about any of that. Because KP doesn't care about anybody but herself. So let's go ahead and meet these people. Now I want to be very clear. When I put these people up, I am not going to harass them. I am not going to badger them. I am not going to do anything of the sort, because at the end of the day, these individuals are probably being suckered. So, let's say hi to KP's mods. We have Aaron, I love Rainbow Dash a lot. Dashy is 20% cooler. Then we have, hold on, work with me. Then we have Crystal Wolf 22. at Crystal and Crew on YouTube. We have Angel of Speed. Now, this one actually makes me a little angry because Angel of Speed's been in my community before. They know how I operate. They know why I do what I do. But they're still helping KP, knowing full well that KP is not doing what's right. We have Sharper the writer, another individual, a mod, and then we have Wave Chill. Now, to these individuals, I want to make something abundantly clear. I am not angry at you. I am not going to come at you like a wild animal. KP is using you. KP is not paying you. KP is weaponizing you. KP is manipulating you. That's why you're always doing the work while she does none. She has never once done any of this work for herself. If you guys continue to aid and abet this behavior, it will get worse and it will come home to roost. Talk to me or anybody. Leave her. She will kill you. Like emotionally, mentally, and certainly whatever you may want to do. Because I want to be very clear here. Can anybody remember in chat what KP's future dream is? What they really wanted to do with their life? Like, what is the one thing KP always wanted to do with their life? Who remembers? Alex Weston, glad that you're here. I'll pull you on a little bit later if you got time. I would like to talk to you. You're not in trouble, obviously. I know you used to work for KP and you got some things to say. So another thing I need to be very clear about. This Life-Ruination stuff didn't start with this doc. It started months ago. Make a cartoon for Disney. Correct, Shatterstar. Bingo. Bingo. You know, I've never really been one concerned with dreams. I've always been one that just focused on survival. Probably need to talk to my therapist about that. But I want to be very clear here. I am better connected and I know more people in animation than KP does. And the ones I do know who she is. And not because they think she's a good animator, not because they think she's a good artist, but because they know of the false claims. They know of the harassment and life-ruination attempts. KP is never, ever going to attain her dream. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years, not in 50. She's done. She has never worked a real job. She's never had a real relationship. So I want to be very clear. Don't worry, Dancer, we will. And I'll deal with all super chats at the end. There is nothing else in KP's life. This is a woman with unironically nothing to lose. So she does not care. She doesn't care. So Life-Ruination is what she's going to. Now, I want to be also, again, I keep saying I want to be clear because I need to make sure this is very clear. KP has made it very clear. I keep saying clear. That Life-Ruination's on the table for her. And like I told Anthony Gramigula that he somehow took as a threat, be careful what tools you will use against an opponent that can be turned on you. And yes, Monstrous, you can come on. Let me pull you in. One moment, I'll hop in my office just for Monstrous. Monstrous likes attention. It's because Monstrous is a woman. Well, Monstrous is a Californian woman. And of course, it doesn't want to connect me. One day I will win this fight against Discord to connect me in the calls properly. There we go. All right, Monstrous, come into the call. You must have attention. We don't give Monstrous attention. She bites people.
Yes! Yes, I wanted to tell the story. Yes!
All right, go ahead. Be mean.
I'm so hyped to tell this story. Hi, everyone. If you guys aren't familiar, hi. I have a friend who I've known for a number of years. They work in animation. They work for a big studio, and in light of everything, I spoke to this friend and kind of asked them a question, a very vague question pertaining to industry blacklisting. And it was very vague about the details. And it actually, this started because of Hidden's situation with like the Ko-Fi, because KP was or is suing Hidden. And it's very vague about the details at first. Long story short, I brought up KP and asked, about her to my friend. And my friend said in all caps lock, ha ha ha, LMAO, no, she will never work in the industry. She's already blacklisted herself. The only way that she would ever get animation work is if she was hired by a sweatshop in another country. She has made such a bad name for herself, essentially, that she will never get hired by a studio. That's how poorly she has presented herself. My friend said that she's so unprofessional and she's just such a problem. She can't draw, she can't animate, that she will never, ever get a job here because of the drama, because she's such a problem. So, actually more specifically, my friend said that her own hiring manager would, and I quote, rather kill herself than hire KP. So, I just wanted to tell that story. So I just want to hop on and say that. So anyway, thank you, Lio.
Bye, Monstrous. Now, we'll bring Alex on a little bit later once we start getting into the stream or into the Google Doc. So what do I mean by Life-Ruination? Well, Monstrous just talked about it a little bit, but friend of the channel and mod of my server, Hidden Heroine, received a notice from the German police the other day because KP decided Life-Ruination's on the table, so filed a criminal charge against Hidden Heroine for recording and publishing a call and for putting out her Q&A script in its own video format. KP has gone that far. And the backlash of that could be, if it goes through, like if Hidden is properly charged and convicted, Hidden has been trying to immigrate to the U.S. to be with her husband since he lives here. That can throw a massive wrench in that. Because Germany is a screwed up country that's obsessed with the dumbest of dumb things, right? And KP, there's no way didn't know that. So in this doc, we find out KP DMCA'd channels, not just to try to get them to take their videos down, but to get their identifiable information to try to go after them in the most insane legal way possible. Now, I told Hidden they need to lawyer up. Hidden looked into it, found out how expensive a lawyer was, knew they couldn't afford it, so put on their Ko-Fi a goal that was reached in under 24 hours because you guys are awesome. Hand clap for all of you. I'm very proud of the community we built here. Seriously. Other people are getting in on this. Even people who don't like me are getting in on this because they even see this as a line crossing. This is something even I haven't done in my most insane, right? Even going after people who touch kids, I've never gone this far. Now, funny enough, right after Hidden finally got the money, her Ko-Fi goes down. It got reported. And I know you guys are thinking, KP, why'd you do that? I don't think it's KP. Good to see what we found out is in Goat's apparently private server. Goat and their deranged friends were rejoicing over the fact that Hidden may be charged criminally. That Hidden's life may be ruined. Because what Hidden said mean, but correct, things about Goat. And we'll get into that for the eventual Goat stream. I think that Goat's people report bombed the Ko-Fi. That's what I think. Because KP doesn't have the backing anymore to be able to brigade like that. So, you all now have all the context needed currently. Alright? Now we're getting into this stupid little Google Doc. Google Docky. So, this opens about Barbie. Now, who is Barbie? Well, Barbie is the quote-unquote lawyer that argued with me on Stardust stream that everybody's like, they totally owned Lio when they literally just lied through their teeth about everything. If you don't believe some of it, feel free to look at DeWeasel's video about Barbie. They never passed the bar exam up to that point. They were not allowed to practice law. And I warned KP, because KP had her, like, on the side to give legal advice, essentially, and to pass things through. I said, don't trust her. Don't trust her, don't trust her, don't trust her. Newsflash, KP trusted her. Newsflash, Barbie snaked KP. Barbie was an inside job who was just there to get information and to rat KP out at every single turn. So there's some things that are going to be revealed tonight that is... All right, it reconnected. I don't know why. It's been a while since OBS did that. But if there's anybody in this doc I do not feel bad for, it's Barbie. Why? Because Barbie has consistently lied about what their job is, lied about their credentials, lied about who they are, then redacted every single message and DM they've ever made on Twitter, or not Twitter, on Discord, because of their fear, and then decided to be mean girl in this and got outed for it, so now she's running. Now she's running. I do not feel bad for Barbie. Barbie played a stupid game. Barbie got a stupid prize. Now, do I agree that they should go after Barbie's job? No. I think the best result for dealing with people like Barbie is to consistently bully them and embarrass them online. That's what you should do with people like Barbie. Do you guys still think I'm gone? Because it reconnected. What do you mean no audio? Maybe you guys are still 30 seconds behind. Let's see here. Just no music. Did I kill the music? Oh yeah, that's right. I think I didn't turn it back on here. There you go. Should be a little better. Trying to mess with it. So anyways, I don't feel bad for Barbie because Barbie decided to make these decisions herself. Fully well aware that this could be screwy, right? She did that. So the document is intended solely as a safety notice for adjacent online communities. Well, where's the safety problem? No one should contact, harass, or engage with this individual, even though that's what KP's doing. The purpose is to present an unbiased report of events to promote safety, awareness, documentation, and preventative measures, not retaliation. You lying snake. For best viewing, use a desktop. Google Docs can distort images on mobile. I'm going to distort your face into the wall. Who is Barbie? Barbie, also referenced as Barbara, is the online alias of an individual who publicly presents herself as a practicing attorney. This is true. KP was originally introduced to Barbie through her association with commentary YouTuber Malcolm, following KP's coverage of Lily Orchard. Barbie appears to operate under a professional identity while practicing in commentary spaces, presumably under belief that offering informal legal analysis in this context will not negatively impact her legal career. Which is dumb! Mark, I said it's what I think. I did not say I have solid evidence. It was speculation. You'll get over it. Get back to wherever you came from. Within the documented events, Barbie became involved in KP's situation, not as legal counsel, but as an outside commentator who provided legal-sounding opinions without formally representing KP and without establishing any attorney-client relationship. Her role escalated when she participated in obtaining, receiving, discussing, and distributing private materials, including incomplete documents, and at least one non-consensually recorded call, which later surfaced publicly and became part of the broader public discussion and cycle surrounding KP after May 2025. The report highlights that Barbie took active steps to evaluate and comment on KP's private communications despite having no legal authority, no investigative mandate, and no comment from KP to use or share those materials. I don't know what the law is in Barbie's area for that, but you don't have to concern yourself with that. That's just the dumbest thing to say. Preliminary evidence. Oh my god. There's no way AI wasn't involved in this. Also indicates that Barbie acted as an intermediary who covertly gathered private information. That actually is true. You could have just asked. From KP and then related to other commentators who were actively covering the case. In effect, she operated as a behind-the-scenes conduit for sensitive materials intended for eventual public release, known as a gay-op in commentary spaces, functioning as an undisclosed information pipeline rather than a neutral observer. Barbie's involvement materially? God, whatever. Contributed to the spread of leaked, confidential, and unlawfully obtained content. Unlawfully obtained? Whatever. And her statements were repeatedly framed with the authority of someone offering legal evaluation, despite no formal role, duty of care, or procedural legitimacy. If people do not stop messaging me in the middle of the freaking stream all the time, why does this always happen? Why? And hidden, since you're listening, you might want to check GoFundMe's TOS. For these reasons, Barbie is named in the safety report not for her commentary opinions, but for her participation in receiving and spreading private information and using her professional status to give those actions undue credibility. Summary of issues identified. This report outlines significant and potentially unlawful conduct by an individual using the aliases Barbie, Barbara, and related variations. The concerns include the unauthorized acquisition and public discourse or disclosure of private information obtained through private communications. Can you state how it's fitting? What the heck? My screen went black. All right. You have to determine, of course, that it is private and what that means in this context. That was really weird that happened. Unauthorized taking and redistribution of proprietary creative assets, potentially violating U.S. codes. I'm not going to get into all that. I could, but I don't feel like it. Possible attorney misconduct, including misrepresentation of legal credentials and actions inconsistent with professional ethical obligations. Breach of trust and mishandling of confidential materials, including improper disclosure of internal documents and communications. You are not a business. You are not a business, you dumb cow. Timeline of related events. Initial contact. We have reached first contact. KP, here's just... I'm not going to read all this. This is dumb. Just, hey, we're talking. Trust building phase. KP set boundaries, clarified intentions, and showed good faith interest and possible friendship. Quote, message related from KP. Look, if you're in the middle of a drama and some rando you've never heard from messages you, it is not to be your friend. It is never to be your friend. Ever. Yeah, I was trying to understand your angle. Via friend or just interested party, or what I know, we met through Malcolm and he has thoughts on the Malcolm situation I have not seen because I don't have emotional bandwidth to. But just up front, I guess. That's in reference to me, I'm sure. I'm sure that's in reference to me. Which, for the record, if you think you're KP's friend, you're not. KP doesn't care about anybody but themselves. Text, I'm open to friendship. I just want to make sure we're on mutual levels. I try to be practical and make sure they see me as an equal before bother. KP, no one will ever see you as an equal because you're not one. You're a child in an adult's body. Text, I'm open to friendship. At this point, KP had no reason to believe Barbie would misuse information or breach confidentiality. Because you're stupid, KP. That's because you're stupid and for no other reason. You're an idiot. That's the only reason why you think this person will be there to help you. Because you're actually dumb enough to think that. Period. That's all it comes down to. And nothing else. Because I warned you. Actually, no, I can bust that one out, but they didn't have a reason to believe they would misuse. Because I warned KP about this. Multiple times. Multiple times I warned KP. You can hear it in the call where she admits I'm right. Hate it here. Hate this woman. Sharing of confidential project material. August 18th, 2025. KP referenced having shared an early draft of her upcoming response video version 2 script transcript with Barbie for feedback. Yada yada. The document was private and locked. Only 2 other people had access. The third party, second individual who received the script is a private friend of KP's from well before she entered public work. Run! Run, ho! He is not involved in creator communities and lacks any knowledge of the individual central to the situation. He needs to run. He needs to run! Restricted. Only people with access can open the link. Barbie, however, had explicitly named and referenced commentator Beckett of the YouTube channel Cope and Seethe in prior conversations, making her the only party with both motive and proximity to leaked document. I'll be blunt, she did. Barbie's the one who gave Beckett this. We're going to get into that later. Because again, I have no desire or interest in protecting Barbie in anything. If Barbie burns, and I will laugh at her. Because not once has she ever, admitted she was wrong about anything. Die. I don't care. 4. Possible manipulation probing, September 29, 2025. Barbie made unexpected personal comments clearly meant to provoke or extract reactions. Example text from Barbie from KP's archive. No, I was honestly more surprised you didn't have anything to say about Beckett saying you're a trust fund kid who lives with your mom, hasn't had a serious relationship or a real job. I mean, listen, go off, queen. Yeah, she was trying to get you to respond because Beckett thought it was funny. And she knew Beckett would find it funny. This was the first overt sign of probing, destabilizing behavior. You were told, ho. Thing is, I destroyed this entire argument by the fact that I told her, don't trust Barbie. She had no reason to trust Barbie. It is currently unclear if Barbie was inquiring about unverified private information of her own accord or was asked to do so. It was all by her own end. Beckett didn't ask her to do any of this. Confrontation over script leak, October 7th, 2025. KP noticed that YouTuber Cope and Seethe / Beckett were suddenly in possession of her private work-in-progress script, as well as third parties covering said leak, uploaded August 4th, 2025. The dates line up with when Barbie was given script access on September 23rd. KP confronted Barbie directly. Below is that entire confrontation. Barbie deleted all messages from her side of the chat and KP was blocked. Yeah, because Barbie's a coward. Here's the thing. When Barbie is confronted about what they do, they always run. They always run. This isn't the first time Barbie's done this. So if anybody's dumb enough to think Barbie's trustworthy, you're a fool and you will get what you deserve. And then, of course, Barbie just lies to KP because Barbie can't tell the truth. Something you really want from somebody you would trust with your cases, I'm sure. Oh, wait. She can't do anything with that. Ooh, called out immediately. KP actually cornered her on this one. Please don't dox that email. Oh, my God. You pussy. You can't be a pussy and be in these spaces. In the above chat logs, KP confronts Barbie over the leaked material. Barbie tries to argue that the Google Drive sharing settings in the script are set to anyone with a link can view. That is true. It was not the case. When KP clarified the script was locked and those permissions were changed 1 hour before this confrontation took place, Barbie stopped any engagement. Barbie's behavior is consistent with panic following discovery of misconduct. Why is it consistent? Why is it consistent, KP? Maybe because I told you this is what she does. Not only is it damning for any individual to scrub messages or delete evidence from their context as questioned, but from an attorney's perspective, it is essentially serious and raises immediate personal red flags. Attorneys don't care about personal. You're dumb. Attorneys are required to preserve records and avoid destroying or altering relevant materials. Yes, in court cases. This isn't a court case. Maintain honesty and transparency in investigative or disciplinary inquiries. Yes, when they're handling a case. You were not a case. And uphold a higher standard of integrity than non-lawyers. Yes, in certain situations. Cope. Deleting communications during a dispute creates the appearance of obstructing an investigation. You're not an investigator. Like you couldn't pour water out of a boot. The instructions were written on the heel. Conduct prohibited under this, and significantly complicates any bar complaint because it compromises the evidentiary record and prevents a clear, accurate assessment of events. These standards are publicly outlined by the American Bar Association. Can review, yes, which doesn't often cover conduct outside of a professional setting. What are you going to do next? Get one of these people in trouble if they're a lawyer and they have an OnlyFans? That wasn't even a real version of the script. It was full of filler and never intended for release. I don't really care what was leaked. The issue isn't a draft. Is that someone leaked a confidential document at all and seemed to manipulate me to do so? KP, no one even needs to manipulate you. You're essentially the female version of just a robot. Why do I need to pay attention to the chat? Ah! Discovery of unauthorized recording, October 30th. KP later became aware that Barbie had recorded a private call with her and that the audio was uploaded to YouTube by the YouTuber Malcolm. Based on Barbie's pattern of behavior, it would seem likely Barbie recorded every call she had with KP. I doubt it. But this was the only one publicly available at the time of this writing. Though Malcolm claims Beckett has had leaked a call between KP and Barbie, Beckett could not have been the recorder because he was not present during the call. That doesn't mean he's not the one that leaked it. Like, I'll put it to you this way, since she's in chat. If I give Cloudy, like, a prototype action figure of, I don't know, Chun-Li, and I'm like, hey, Cloudy, this is my prototype. You can fiddle with it and look at it, but don't show anybody. And Cloudy says, ha, no. And takes a bunch of pictures and videos and all that and throws it online. I didn't leak it. She did. So, no, this is not her leaking it to the public. It's Beckett leaking it to the public. He doesn't need to be the one to record it. The recording in the YouTube video is preserved and documented above. Who cares? Malcolm used this as an explanation for how the leaked audio was obtained, implying Malcolm got the call through Beckett. Well, he probably did. Rather than from Barbie directly. Well, I mean, he may have gotten it from Barbie, to be honest, because I think that was one of his mods at the time. And Beckett or Malcolm recorded it or obtained it in some other way. I don't think they ever stated that. Like, look, if Malcolm had lied, I'd dog on him, because I don't like the little weasel. But I don't think he did that here. However, this explanation is impossible, since Beckett was not present for the call. You don't have to be present for the call to leak one, stupid! Look at it this way. When Zavia gave us Zoophile a whole bunch of Senate calls, Zavia wasn't even in most of those calls. It's a dumb thing. This is AI. There's no way it's not. In fact, give me a moment. I'm going to try something real quick. Boop, we're going to go to the other screen for just a moment. Just a moment. You didn't get it from Beckett? Well, good. He was honest then. He must have gotten it from Barbie and just didn't tell people the truth, which is kind of scummy. But still, let's see here. "91% likely that this is AI generated." Now, is that conclusive? Probably not. Probably not. But still, it's something. Boop. Get back to where we were. KP only had 5 total Discord calls with Barbie, and Beckett is not listening. That's not the point. That's not the point! You idiot! There is no known documentation or supporting evidence of KP, Barbie, and Beckett having a 3-way group call together. Let me take a look. Again, more messages while I'm streaming. But thank you, Mahi. Yeah, I'm getting essentially the same thing. Mostly that's AI. Some human, but mostly AI. Is it conclusive? No. Do I care? No. True. The only other person in that call besides KP was Barbie at the time, so stop repeating yourself, stupid. Chris call coverage. May 9th, 2025. Timestamp. Recording someone without their explicit knowledge, I think, is a crappy thing to do, you guys, and also occasionally illegal depending on where you live. Doing the snake crap is not a good way to conduct yourself because you ruin your own credibility. Words of the wise. If I ever find out somebody's doing this, you will never catch me talking to them anywhere but public, because that's rat crap. Malcolm. I wonder if he lives by that. Not my problem. I'll show you 3-way well anytime you want, monstrous. Based on the available information, either Malcolm was misled by Beckett about how the recording was obtained, or he's aware of the circumstances and chose to use the material anyway. Probably the latter. KP on this. I want to be clear about this. I have only ever recorded someone without their consent in very limited situations involving alleged sexual misconducts or grooming, and only after confirming it was legally permitted. What? These decisions were about safety and documentation. I don't have full insight into how that recording was acquired, and I don't have enough information to understand the motive further. My actions throughout this process have been guided by a desire to protect myself, create an accurate record, and seek accountability where appropriate, not to retaliate or escalate, you lying hoe. I do want to give Malcolm the benefit of the doubt and assume he didn't know the details about the acquisition of the call, but I don't have access to all the private discussions informing those decisions. I personally not sent DMCAs against him specifically because he seems to not know the nature of the leaks. Time will tell, I guess, once this goes public. KP, you absolutely have recorded people without consent. Illegally. You did it to Aficionado Chris. So, Aficionado Chris, if you ever listen to this, file charges against JP. Since she wants to do it to other people, return that in favor. Also, to Saberspark, sue this hoe. Take her to court for defamation. Take her to court for slander. Take her to court for everything because she actually did damage to you. Based on what I know, it'd be a much easier case to prove than most people who do LOL suits. You need to nuke this dumb broad. And I'm going to say why here in a minute. Because right now, she's dealing with essentially nobodies. She can and will hurt other people if she's allowed to get away with this behavior. This isn't just about random YouTube videos anymore. This is an attempt at life ruination because, God forbid, this dumb, privileged broad got taken to task for once in her miserable, disgusting life. Also to note, throughout the leak calls, Barbie repeatedly positioned herself as an informal interpreter of KP's thoughts, motives, and emotional state, despite never being authorized to speak on KP. Oh my God, you arrogant, egotistical piece of garbage. Who cares? Who cares? Examples include, she doesn't realize how people hear her. You don't! You don't, you dumb broad! She reacts that way because she panics. You do! You do panic, you dumb broad! You have to look at KP in a certain way or you'll misunderstand her. Also true! This pattern appears to be an attempt to gain social authority and credibility within the commentary spaces by presenting yourself as someone with special insights into KP. KP, there's no special insights to you. You're nothing. KP found this personal commentary extremely unsettling and parasocial. Get a job! All of Barbie's appearances on Malcolm's channel, even if they had no relevance to KP directly, have been archived here for safety purposes. Well, maybe somebody should copyright strike that archive. And to show a clear pattern of behavior. Somebody needs to show a clear pattern of behavior upside your head. I prefer Salty Cheerios to use the B word as in broad. Gotta be classy. Pinky out. Identification concerns. Although this report does not or will not disclose the suspected individual's identity over safety and legal concerns, KT observed several specific circumstantial clues in Barbie's statements in public and private to a point in a singular match of her real-life identity. We got it, whatever. I don't care. Oh my God, I don't care! Is KP doing the life ruination? KP has done the following. Notified the relative state bar, including sending this report of advance to public release. A state bar report is in progress. This will acknowledge receipt of a disciplinary inquiry. In the coming business days, your inquiry will be assessed by the ACAP attorney. Once the assessment has been completed, ASAP will send you a status update by U.S. mail. Your reference number... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this more officially, all right? Give me a second here. This will acknowledge receipt of your disciplinary inquiry. In the coming business days, your inquiry will be assessed by an ACAP attorney. Once that assessment has been completed, ACAP will send you a status update by U.S. mail. Your reference number is... Be sure to use this number when corresponding about your case. Please note that this email account is intended to be used only for submitting documents that are part of the inquiry/complaint process. Examples: complaint, rebuttals, and other correspondences specifically authorized by ACAP staff. Communications that do not meet that criteria should not be sent to this account. If you need to speak with an ACAP personnel about an issue related to your inquiry, please contact ACAP hotline. Thank you. Attorney Consumer Assistance Program. And here's the thing she filed, like a dumb broad. Had to get Barbie's docs to do this. And of course, the dumb broad can't help but put little memes in here. I hope someone prints them out and makes her choke on them. We're now 26 pages of 92 in. Pertinent clarification from Cope's coverage. Cope/Beckett's statements attempt to launder potentially illicit illegally obtained files into perceived legitimacy by amplifying verification that was not possible. This is going to be fun. Beckett/Cope admits he was actively trying to obtain KP's private audio. At 021 in his coverage, he states, At the time of recording, I've been unable to gain a copy of one of the original audio drafts. This is critical. It demonstrates that Beckett was actively attempting to obtain private material, not merely receiving something from neutral or credible source. His frustration at not having the audio aligns directly with Barbie's attempt to access KP's audio as seen below. Request KP declined. So, guys, why do you think he had to go to Barbie for that? I'll let you guys think about that for a minute while we continue. Just talking to Barbie about why she can't do it. Come on, load. KP's reference script draft of September 2025 was never distributed beyond 2 confidential readers. Beckett's expectation that he should have had access indicates he was relying on someone inside KP's inner circles to acquire it for him. True. This fits the documented pattern of Barbie pushing to obtain KP's private materials, Barbie later leaking the script, Barbie deleting her messages immediately after confrontation. In short, Beckett was not a passive recipient. You're right, he wasn't. Not in that case. It's alright, Ivy. This is an edited copy. It doesn't have that in here. It's been scrubbed. Everybody thank Fauci's people. What's up, Bloody Thumb? Try not to harass my chat. Misrepresentation of verification and sourcing. Beckett/Cope presents the leaked script as having been validated, a framing that was not possible under the circumstances. At 28, he says, I received an original draft script. I checked in with a few people who I thought may have heard one of these versions. It is accurate, though not complete. The presentation is materially misleading. At the time the video was published, the script was an unpublished private work. Access to the script was extremely limited. The only known individual with Beckett's public circle who had access to an earlier audio was Lio Convoy. Me! Another commentator in the community and KP's former friend. I should have been the one to cut that off. There is an additional strong evidence that Lio leaked the entire audio at a later time. One's in the chat if you want a fun fact. One in the chat if you want a fun fact. I'll wait for the responses because this will be interesting. Ones are in. I never gave, meaning handed for public use, anybody that audio. Never. And when Beckett wanted to use it, to make it public, I told him no, and it upset him, which is why he was looking for someone else. Because I was hoping, like an idiot, that maybe KP would grow a brain and just apologize and drop the stupid. Clearly, I was wrong. Thank you for the new sub. Moving on. Now, she says, Kay, don't share obs. I said, I'll take a listen. I didn't agree to dick. And the reason why I didn't agree to dick is simply for one reason. KP was told by me, do not put out a response. I am tired of people being ask-holes. A-S-K-H-O-L-E-S. What is an ask-hole? An idiot who asks your opinion and then ignores it because it's not what they want to hear. Ho, don't ask me then. Why this matters legally. Unauthorized disclosure of a private recording. Texas, Lio state of residence, is a one-party consent state for recording communications, but that consent does not authorize further distribution beyond the purpose for which the recording was provided. You want me to listen to it, so I listened to it. Sharing or disclosing a private recording without the seeker's consent, particularly when the recording was shared for review or advisory purposes only, may constitute an invasion of privacy, misuse of confidential information, or unlawful disclosure, and can give rise to civil liability when absent criminal intent. Sue me, ho! Even though I didn't do it. You could maybe claim a copyright thing if I published it, but I didn't. This is all you trying to speculate because you've got nothing and you know nothing. It's why you won't come at me directly. You put me in this gay little Google Doc. So practice and remedies. Why don't you remedy yourself with a shotgun? Because the script and the earlier audio was not public and had no authorized distribution, there were no lawful or independent third-party sources capable of legitimately verifying its contents. I am under no lawful requirement to not give my opinion or if something is asked for if it's accurate. I was under no legal requirement. I agreed to nothing. As a result, any claim of checking with people or confirmation necessarily relies on individuals already breaching confidentiality. I didn't breach anything, you dishonest hag. Presenting the material as verified reframes an unauthorized leak as though it were the product of routine journalistic fact-checking. It was in this case. Cope. This portrayal obscures that access to the document was unauthorized. I don't care. The question was, is it accurate? That any alleged confirmation depended on further confidentiality breaches and that no journalistically valid chain of custody existed. Has Beckett ever claimed to be a journalist? The answer is no, he didn't. Never. In short, the leak could not be legitimately vetted because no legitimate source existed. I was a legitimate source. I existed. Cope. Characterizing it as minimizes the underlying breach and falsely implies ethical acquisition and independent sourcing. It was ethical. He just asked a question. That's it. Why this matters legally. U.S. copyright and privacy law is clear. Unpublished private works enjoy the strongest possible protection. Cool. Fair use does not apply when the material is obtained through breach of confidentiality, unauthorized access, or a violation of privacy. Citation needed, evidence required. I don't see a statute here, ho. Relevant case law, leaked or unpublished material is not fair use. These landmark decisions establish binding precedent that primarily or privately obtained and unpublished material is not protected by fair use, even when used for commentary. Harper and Roe versus Nation Enterprises. The Nation published parts of a leaked, unpublished presidential memoir. The court ruled it was not fair use. Because it's a presidential memoir, you dumb broad! The right of the first publication belongs to the author, not the leaker. Yes, of a written memoir work, you dumb hoe! This case is nearly identical to KP's situation. No, it isn't. The only thing identical to your brain, KP, is a mop bucket. Salinger versus Random House. Use of private unpublished letters was ruled not fair use. What was the context, KP? Is it here? Unpublished materials receive heightened protection. New era public... There is no context for any of this. Nothing is given. You know what? I'm going to say Ecclesiastes 5:7. Deuteronomy 3:4. That totally proves what I'm saying here. Of course it doesn't, because there's no context there. I'm fussing at KP. This is their dumb team with their AI chat GPT crap. UK law, Beckett's reason. The UK is even stricter. Publishing private, confidential, or unpublished material acquired without authorization, no one cares. Then file a report. File a report! Ooh, that's rough, Kelsey Bell. Kelsey Bell says, as a proofreader in my day job, the formatting of this doc is atrocious and it violates any AP stylebook guidelines. Also several spelling errors without no doubt. I don't care about any of this because this is lawyer LARPing. This is legal sophistry. And to be clear, the only reason KP issued any DMCAs was to get people's personal information to go after them for Life-Ruination. You know what? You guys are right. I shouldn't have compared them to mop buckets. Mop buckets have purposes. Mop buckets get wet. And before that being thrown as sexism, I'm implying, KP, that you will never have any romantic interest because you're that unlovable. I hope YouTube terminates your channel. Don't care about any of this. Again, this is all garbage. This is all nonsense. Additionally, KP clarified before sending DMCAs to this perceived misconcept. Text PS, I would warn your little friends I have sent, as in am already pending, DMCA takedowns for anything, both videos and streams, using private or leaked information. Commentary is within their right, but anything more is a violation of my privacy, boundaries, and threatens my safety. There is no threat to your safety. But now you've guaranteed there could be, Rachel. Because you, and you know what? I'm going to be that dick. I'm going to be that dick. 1 minute. Because she's actually infuriated me. Because she's making things a problem for other people. The safety of hidden heroin is actually at risk here because of KP's insanity and unchecked ego. So here's a link to the Google Doc. You know whose phone number is in here uncensored? Rachel's. You made yourself a threat to your own safety, you stupid broad. I think we both know that going to the police when someone is sexually harassing you on the internet is a moot point. Then why'd you do it? I'm not going to say who you did it to, but we both know you did it. You stupid broad. You have my consent to warn others. I also have your consent to tear you apart because you're dumb in my presence. The above is a private communication dated October 10th from KP to Lio Convoy, where KP stated the DMCA notices were submitted exclusively in response to the use of private or leaked materials. Actually, no, not all of them were. Beckett got struck for things that weren't private or leaked. Some of it was just bullying you. This is why Cartoon She was not struck with DMCA claims for his original coverage video. Actually, it's because you didn't have anything to strike. Not realistically, and you knew that. And more importantly, you knew going up against Cartoon She with that would have ended so much poorly for you. Instead, you went after smaller channels. You're stupid. Although Cartoon She's video did contribute to the spread of possible misinformation, it did not rely on the use and circulation of potentially illicitly acquired material or reframe private communications outside previously discussed context. And we will talk about Cartoon She later. Don't worry. The framing of these actions is malicious. It was malicious! Look at what the word malice means. Appears instead to arise from a broader narrative strategy that positions KP as a public antagonist. You are! You are the public antagonist, and everybody should beat you. The monetization of outrage-driven commentary. KP, I'd love to see a video on yours about the nightly news. Or newspapers. Oh wait, it's only because it's you. You couldn't have cared less otherwise. The amplification of controversy connected to allegations involving public speaker and sexual misconduct Sanders Park that you couldn't prove and you refuse to apologize for because you have a malicious streak in you about this man, probably because he's successful and you're not. Such framing serves to simply simplify a complex legal and ethical situation to a personalized conflict, because it was, and is more readily consumable and monetizable by audience. Kill yourself. This does not reflect, the documented purpose or function of the DMCA filings. Your function was to get their information. Extreme and anti-Semitic framing. Why is this in a Google Doc about legal stuff? Additional extremist language is used by Beckett, comparing KP's actions to the censorship efforts of early Nazi Germany. In his video, KP strikes me again. You are a Jew, and KP is Nazi Germany. Soon she will face the Nuremberg trials. How is that anti-Semitic? It's not saying Jews are bad. It's calling you a Nazi. And if you don't think a Jewish person can be a Nazi, someone don't know history, dude. Nazism isn't about color in the sense of whether you're aligned with them or not. It is in the sense of who they hate. That's about it. Invoking Nazi Germany in reference to a publicly known Jewish individual's lawful procedural actions is deeply inappropriate. Cry, cry, cry. Cry, cry, cry. I ain't clicking that link. Cry, cry, cry. You got bullied. KP, people say worse about me on a daily basis. You know what I do? I make fun of them. Did KP just not actually go to school? Did she never actually deal with people taunting them and learn to respond with violence? Like, did she just not? Or did mommy and daddy just keep her on the tit her entire life? Yada, yada, yada. Oh my god, I don't care. Although KP was... Hold on. Some commentators have attempted to reframe KP's actions primarily through the lens of YouTube strikes or content removal, which it was. This framing is not relevant to the underlying issue. You know what's not relevant to the underlying issue? The fact that you're a coward, a creep, and a loser. Platform enforcement actions are procedural outcomes. So is the fact that you should have been aborted. Not evidence of intent. A YouTube strike does not establish malice, retaliation, or abuse. Actually, sometimes it does. It reflects YouTube's internal compliance process after a report is submitted. The presence or... A swatting does not establish malice, retaliation, or abuse. It reflects the police's internal compliance process after a report is submitted. See how stupid that sounds? The presence or absence of strikes does not alter the legal or ethical basis for submitting DMCA or privacy complaints, focusing on strikes and consequences rather than the conduct that promoted the reports. Focusing on strikes and consequences rather than the conduct that promoted the reports misdirects attention away from the core issue, the unauthorized use and dissemination of protected material. Well, focusing on the fact that that person was violently sexually assaulted, it misdirects attention away from the fact that their skirt was so short. He couldn't help himself. Like, what logic is this? Although KP was aware her initial interview with Beckett was being recorded, she was not informed of the adversarial framing or subsequent use of private screenshots and did not consent to their publication or contextualize repurposing. Come here. So closely. People don't need your consent to insult you and to tell the truth about your behavior. You are not a princess. Nothing anybody says about you has to be passed through you. And the fact that you have lived a life so far where you have thought that shows that your parents are failures who probably need to go play in traffic. Beckett made it very clear that it was not going to make her look good because she screwed up. In additional written materials, Cabot's private wording, statements, and recorded vocal communication were reused, excerpted, or paraphrased and phrased that exceeds the cue to blah, blah, blah. No one cares. This is so gay. This is so pathetically stupid and weak. Nobody here's a journalist. Nobody. The only person in our spaces that has a journalism degree is Michael French of Retroblasting and Slug. Neither of which have claimed any involvement in this other than asking questions for Slug and Michael listening back to this thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with these people? Journalism doesn't matter. No one here's a journalist. How dare you send DMCA takedowns for covers at the script we stole? So you admit you stole it like a thief? Kill yourself. Alleging that KP lied about her views on the case relies on private messages that were provided in for a specific limited review purpose and not for public distribution. You stated none of that. None of it. None of it, none of it, none of it. You are not to be catered to. And the fact that anybody did needs to prove that they are to be bullied to death. Well, Monster's just waking up because that's the first time any man's whispered in her ear in a long time. Anyways. Conclusion. Using Cope and C's own statement, the contradictions reveal they admitted the script was leaked. Was a leak. They admitted it was unreleased. They admitted KP never gave permission. I don't care. And nobody should. They intended to claim fair use anyways. Yes, fair use to make fun of you. Because the way he formatted it was satirical. You dumb hole. Because this isn't about legality. This is all about the fact that KP didn't like that people were coming after her for being deranged. So this is her way of trying to strike back. Man, over halfway there. We're halfway there. Whoa! Living on a prayer. Case study, internet adjacent. Ah, pedo adjacent. Don't care. Like, that dude should just kill himself. I love then he tried to come back swinging at Ponder using Jar's video, and that Jar is involved in that. What a bunch of worthless idiots. First of all, F you. I mean, if you insist, monstrous. Evidence of private sharing of illicitly obtained material. Malcolm's prior admission. Barbie, Beckett, Malcolm. Hi, Riddle. I'm going to use something you posted, if that's okay. The stuff you posted in the server. Because at this point, once I'm done here, it's just going to be pure embarrassment. I'm just going to embarrass KP. If you don't want me to, I'll happily delete them. But I'd like to use the things you said in the server to bully this woman. Anywho. Ops public admission of receiving non-public information. Hi, KP. Fascinating response. In this comment, I will be encompassing the save Emily's... Who cares? Who cares? In the screenshot from OpBlock, I was aware you've been waffling over this response behind the scenes, okay? Somebody told. Oh, no. The statement is critical for... Oh, my God. Congratulations, KP. People talk about you. Get over it. This is just control freak stuff. This is about her wanting to be in control of everything. That's all it is. That's all this is. Her trying to be a control freak. KP, you will never be able to control others. Ever. And, you know, by the end of the stream, you're going to find out how many times I withstood people to their faces wanting to do worse to you than what they did because I thought, like an idiot, that you were going to do the right thing. Who cares? Now, we're going to get into something interesting here. In addition, the recently surfaced screenshot from Cartoon Chic suggests that other third parties were discussing or aware of the leaked materials, indicating the unauthorized redistribution of the August 2025 audio draft that may have extended beyond a single individual. Cartoon Chic, I would still love to hear the full audio of the original response, only got told what was said in it. From what I gathered, it was friggin' wild lamau. Comments such as the one above demonstrate the details of the leak were already being circulated within private conversations, despite those individuals not having direct access to the original content. This further supports the concern that confidential materials were not only taken without permission, but were also shared, described, or summarized along outside parties, amplifying the breach of privacy and complicating the scope of the incident. As earlier stated, the person with the most circumstantial evidence surrounding the leaking and the distribution of the audio draft was Lyle Convoy. For legal reasons, I will refrain, but no, it's not Mr. Horse. And to everyone who is in the know and reading this, yes, I am causing problems on purpose, and you should probably not keep that audio to yourself because it's really funny. But again, legally, nothing is happening at all. I'm just being a prick. Because I keep forgetting that reading comprehension is dwindling in the year of our Lord 2025, I'll reiterate that no, it is not Misanthro. Leave him alone. Cartoon Sheet publicly hinting at who shared the contents of the file. Additionally, Beckett did receive the audio at a later time, as seen below. Beckett plays a clip from the leak audio in this tweet of October 13, 2023. Based on this tweet and Lyle's established relationship with the commentary YouTuber mentioned in the Yan, there is additional circumstantial evidence that Lyle leaked the audio used. This above outlines the last chain of shared private information. Again, this is based on circumstantial evidence only. KP, Lyle, Cartoonshi, and or Beckett, or Yin the Yan. One in the chat if you want some background drama that happened concerning some of this. Because I think it's time I talk a little bit about it. Because it's very interesting. One in the chat. At the end, it is written as by Discord mod, but KP says she writes every script in Hungry Trilobite podcast, so full blame can be shifted on her. Nice. So, here's why Cartoonsy was posting like an anime villain. I was talking to Ponder months ago about this because I was pissed. Because I told this stupid woman to not respond, and her response was abysmal. It was not taking accountability. It was not apologizing. It was shifting the onus and saying everybody else is wrong but me. In the middle of Ponder and I ranting about it, Julie hopped in call, heard a little bit, kind of got spooked because we were yelling, and left. What she heard was that Cartoonshi was mentioned in this video, in this response. That wound up eventually going to Cartoonshi. I'm not going to tell you how, but it eventually got to him. Now, I want to be very clear here. cartoon, she has not been in contact with me or even spoken positively about me in the past 2 years. In fact, he's taken shots at me in videos, despite, and I'm going to be a prick here for a minute, despite the fact that I've made it a point to help him in several ways, and I'm not going to make all public. Lesson for everybody who needs to learn it. If you go out of your way to help somebody, and they drop you for optics and then treat you like dirt afterwards, anybody around them should never trust them. Everybody around them should always be suspicious that their friendship is a sham. Because after he found out, he makes these posts, and then he tries to add me on all my accounts, both of my accounts on Discord, like a maniac, demanding this call, demanding this audio, and I refuse to give it to him. We're not friends. We're not pals. You run your mouth about me, I have no obligation to be kind to you and help you. Newsflash, if you're in the drama sphere, which you stepped into, you made that choice, brother, take your lumps like everybody else. You're under no obligation to be given warning ahead of time of what's going to happen. Cope. If you don't like it, get out of the drama spaces. That's how this works. There was nothing in there that was going to annihilate life. Just KP being a moron. And the truth of the matter is, another reason why I refuse to leak it, if KP is going to screw up, I want it to be by her volition. I do not want her to have a, well, I'm going to use the jar excuse, and somebody did X, so I panicked and why, and that excuses my behavior. No, let her fail on her own. Let her fall on her own sword. Screw this backroom backbiting garbage. There's the truth of the matter. That's why nobody else got it. It wasn't because I wanted to respect KP's privacy, or I thought she was innocent. It's because this stupid hole is not going to listen. If this dumb waste of her dad's semen and her mother's egg is not going to heed wise counsel and own the fact that she screwed up and apologize like a normal human being, she will die on her own. That's why I didn't. I had to withstand multiple people to their faces and tell them, I'm not giving you this. Wait for her to actually respond. I'm not getting involved in XYZ thing. I'm trying to get her to do the right thing. One of the people, I'm not going to tell you who, but one of these people approached me saying, because I have the DMC on the channel, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. All right? You can make up your own decision. I want to make a billboard in KP's town of her face on it. And I had to tell this person, you can't do that. Would it be funny on your opinion? Yes, but you can't do that. You know why you can't do that? Because that would frame her immediately as a victim, and that would be seen as actual harassment. Don't. You have any idea, KP, how many times I've gotten in people's faces and withstood them so they wouldn't just actually bully you instead of just calling out that you're deranged? You're welcome. By the way, you're welcome. At this point, I don't care. At this point, they can call your parents and I wouldn't care. They can call your brother and I wouldn't care. Because Lord knows, your parents don't care about you, and neither does he. That's why he gets everything when your parents die. And he'll pass it on to you if you deserve it. You jobless lunatic. Thing is, Riddle, you don't need to. Dumb broad put her phone number in here. You have any idea how easy it is to find that with just a phone number? I can tell you it's easy. Saber Smart shared that allegation publicly of his own volition. Apologize, ho. No one cares. Look, if you want to know about OpBlock's opinion on all this, I'm not saying this to be a dick or because I dislike OpBlock, so I'm going to trash talk him. No, like he did an entire stream about it. You can literally hear it directly from him. You don't need to hear about it from me, all right? I encourage all of you to go to OpBlock and watch his stuff, okay? I encourage you to do so. What else is in this dumb, broad gibberish? Civil liability, yada, yada, yada. Truth is, all this is talk because you can't do anything to him. Oh, the HIPAA! The HIPAA crap! HIPAA protects individual identifiable health information from unauthorized disclosure by covered entities and those acting on their behalf. While HIPAA applies directly to healthcare providers and insurers, U.S. courts also recognize medical information as highly protected data in tort and privacy law. This is her getting mad that some of her nonsense, some of her hospital stuff was shared publicly. Cope. HIPAA does not protect you from other people talking about medical stuff that goes public. HIPAA does not protect you from any of that. These people cannot violate HIPAA because they are not directly related to your medical care and they are not healthcare professionals. We cannot violate HIPAA any more than I can violate the Marine Corps oath. I am not a Marine, so therefore I cannot. It's also why they won't let me eat the freaking crayons with the jalapeno glue. They refuse to share it with me. Anyways. Well, jalapeno cheese, not glue. Maybe I did eat some of it. Maybe it's affecting me. Copyright nonsense. This is all incredibly stupid. Why doesn't YouTube take private down calls immediately? Because they don't have to. Cope. Digging into KP's private life. Welcome to the gossip train, you idiot. You dug into Sabers. You came to me asking my opinion on what I thought of his alleged sexual interests. You were dugging into his all the time. Is it not fair that people do it to you? Blue's my favorite color. You see, that's why 90s Router was wrong when he said that I won't let anybody eat the red crayons because they're my favorite. Blue's my favorite. You degenerate. This all is, I got bullied and I don't like it. You're all the problem, not me. Possible motivating factors for acting parties, not determination of intent. This section does not assign motive or intent. It outlines recurring themes and framings present in public commentary, which may help contextualize the conduct described elsewhere in this report. Identifying framing patterns. Based on available public statements and coverage, the following potential motivating factors appear repeatedly in how the situation has been framed. Disagreement with KP's public stance. Multiple commentators appear primarily motivated by opposition to KP's refusal to characterize Amy Jones' sexual assault allegations against Saber Spark at issue as false. You have no evidence. None. She wouldn't even file a police report. In our call, you admit that it's sketchy now, you idiot. KP has concluded there's not enough evidence for her to possibly determine indefinitely. Okay, there's no evidence that KP hasn't raped anybody. There's no evidence that KP hasn't touched any kids. There's no evidence that KP hasn't done sexual things to her dog. There's no evidence that she hasn't beaten her dog. There's no evidence that she hasn't hit somebody in her car in a weed-induced rage fit. So cool. Now everybody has carte blanche to go say whatever they want about KP because you can just say, well, I've just concluded there's not evidence for me to possibly determine indefinitely. It's that simple. Such information contributing to the case is implied trauma-related memory issues contributing to Jimmy's differentiating public versions of the incident, including established psychological noted memory loss and narrative confusion. Are you a doctor? No? Okay. Are complex and do not lend themselves to definitive public conclusions. Then don't take it at face value, you dumb hole. Cross-examination of Emily's alleged past online history to imply dishonest or malicious intent in her original allegation, because there was one. Because there was. AKA the perfect victim. Has nothing to do with the perfect victim. It has to do with if somebody has a pattern of being a malicious liar, you have to question whether or not everything they tell you is a malicious lie. You dumb hole. You dumb hole. Continued contact between a victim and the assailant of sexual crime is unfortunately very common in cases and does not equal dishonesty. No, but obsessing over them might. These links mean nothing because you don't have evidence that she suffers from any of these things. You have her making a claim. Claims are not evidence. It's a type of evidence. Not in this case. Painting Emily as a liar solely on Saber's word and her reputation applies a perfect victim bias. No, it doesn't. Which is both ethically flawed and harmful. I believe there was miscommunication on both sides, but Saber is at fault for social cure assumptions, but at the very least. So why is Saber at fault for that, but not Emmy? Interesting. For the record, telling someone you have a crush on them is never considered for sexual conduct, ever. She probably thought she ate with that. Cool. Saying you're going to visit somebody isn't consent for you to live with them indefinitely and make them baby you. You worthless cow. Below is an example where she quotes her message cutting ties with Lyle Convoy. I don't care. This is just you being a giant baby. Being an absolute loser. Yeah, I apologize to Emily, yeah, because you got bullied. And you know what? Here's the thing. Emily, I recommend you come out and you say something, or I'm going to go after you now. I will make it a personal enjoyment mission of mine. Regardless of personal opinions about a rape allegation, can only be legally determined to be false through judicial proceedings. No, actually, it can't. Because it also can't... Okay, hold on. Can only be legally determined to be false? Well, no. It's not that they determine it's false. It's guilty or not guilty. Not that it's false. ChatGPT wrote this. No such determination has occurred in this matter. Okay, everybody can go around accusing KP of being a rapist. She can't say anything about it. Until a court case is presented, which your person refused to file, a sexual assault allegation is legally classified as unproven or unfounded, or defamation, or slander, or libel. Did I miss something? This dumb idiot's gaslit me. I guess she did say that. Hey, KP, what's it like knowing a dumb idiot smarter than you and actually has a life and a job and a wife and people that actually care about him? That's gotta suck for you. This is just cope. That's all this is. How many more pages? Oh, God, we got 22 pages left. None of this is my response. My response is kill yourself or get a job. Oh, wait, you can't get a job. Huh, wonder what that leads. I'm gonna scroll through this because all of this is cope. All of this is cope. Interesting. A leaker. Rage, Google the Freedom of Information Act. That's not how that works. Either you're a public figure or you're not. The team agreement isn't a legally binding NDA, and you'd be hard-pressed to prove otherwise. It depends. I'm within my rights to present information to the public as it pertains to you and I. Everyone else's information was redacted, so your Ooh. Can rest easy on my end of things. I've only shared what I'm legally allowed to share. I'd like to iterate. Do not contact me again. Note, I won't be discussing you publicly further. For what it's worth, previous statement still stands. Kill yourself. I don't think any of this has anything to do with reality. This is dumb. Me. So, here's where she goes into the psychoanalyzation, the analysis of all of us. Across this segment, Beckett consistently defines KP's intent prior to presenting evidence. He presented evidence, too. Minimizes reported harm through humor framing. What? Introduces motive claims without supporting documentation. It's speculation for a reason. Because here's the thing. You certainly didn't do this because you wanted to protect kids, because you haven't made any of this about kids. Uses certainty language in place of transparent sourcing. Where's your transparent sourcing in most of this? Nowhere, that's right. Oh, I love this one. This is about me. It's about me. Lio, observed pattern. Position self as mediator or neutral party while continuing informal involvement. So I can't be involved with people? Often emphasizes de-escalation and discourages further scrutiny. I don't ever discourage further scrutiny. I do emphasize de-escalation, though. I wonder why I might have done that. Maybe to keep you from killing yourself on this rock? Maybe I should be like Latin accelerationist. Likely response back. No, it's likely. Not proven. Not sourced. Where's your transparent ethical sourcing on this, KP? Where's the examples? There should be plenty. There's a billion different calls with me out there. Tons of leaked DMs. Urging everyone to move on or let it go. Oh no. Oh no. Not normal human behavior to continue moving on with life. What do you mean I can't obsess over this thing? This one small thing that ruined my life even though I could have moved on. Framing continued discussion as unnecessary drama, because with you it usually is. Avoid direct clarification of past involvement of potential illegal behavior. I haven't broken any laws. What she's mad about when it comes to direct clarification, she wants whoever she talks to tell her in extreme detail their involvement with everybody they know. She got mad that I did not give her an absolute data dump on all my communications, history, and knowledge on Beckett. I'm not going to. I'm not obligated to. Get over yourself. Life is not about you. Maybe dedicate yourself to something other than you arrogant, egotistical moron. Illustrative language examples, hypothetical. Notice, can't even give actual evidence to my hypothetical language because it's hypothetical, right? I don't think relitigating this helps anyone. What? What? At some point, you just have to disengage. That's just true. People are taking this too far. Yeah, you did. And now you're going to reap the whirlwind. So when they take it too far on you, you can't cry. You're not a victim anymore. People are, and I was just trying to keep things calm. Yeah, I try to keep things calm, so cooler heads prevail. This is all, Lio didn't cater to me. Lio didn't do exactly what I wanted to. Lio wasn't under my control. You know, KP actually had no idea about anything that happened to me in 2024. Interesting stuff. And you guys can like Cartoonshi and his content. It's fine. I'm not going to get mad at you for that. It's gay. Just because I have issues with somebody doesn't mean everybody else has to. Because I'm not KP. I'm not going to concern myself with Malcolm. I will not break bread or defend an individual who constantly tries to point me as a groomer. Cartoonshi. Observed pattern. Engages in the disclosure and discussing of private communications and sensitive information while minimizing or obscuring the legal and ethical boundaries governing their use. Kill yourself. Reframes unauthorized sharing as permissible. Commentary avoiding acknowledgement of consent requirements. This is just gobbledygook. Likely response pattern. Downplaying or denying that private messages and materials were shared. What is this? What is this? You can't amazo freaking Cartoonshi on this. This is asinine. You want to know? Here's some illustrative languages of Rachel. It's not my fault. It's your fault. You did this. Yada, 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 yada. Good God. How much of a dick do I want to be right now? How much of a dick do I want to be right now? Give me a second here. I'm curious. One moment. Candy Rain. I need to check our DMs for something in August. Oh, it got deleted. Let me see if I have the file downloaded. Time to be a dick. If it opens.
This video discusses sensitive topics.
So I've decided, since KP wants to make such a massive stink about this stupid audio, fine, you'll get to hear it. I'm going to set it at 2 times speed. Since the others have been leaked, I'll leak this one.
Including grooming, power dynamics, and online harassment. Viewer discretion is advised. 18 plus content warning. Do not harass anyone discussed in this video. Hi everyone, this is KP. I just wanted to take this opportunity to clear the air a little bit because I took some time away from a really messy situation and now I'm coming back to it. For those who don't know, in early May, I released a video commenting on some behavior regarding fellow YouTubers Saberspark and DA games. And it wasn't really well received for a number of reasons. And first off, I just want to apologize for the tone that came with it. What I didn't realize is by talking about such serious topics and using jokes and memes, it would come off as insulting and immature. But for me personally, that's how I process trauma is I do a lot of dark jokes to cope with my own personal trauma. Like my line about Jon Stewart. So the Jon Stewart example was Jewish humor as coping because I'm Jewish, so that's not a flex. So I didn't realize that that was an internalized viewpoint, and I just want to say that obviously any type of trauma is horrible and bad, and I'm so sorry you had to deal with anything, and everyone copes in their own way, so please look up some healthy coping techniques, or find a professional therapist, or do whatever you need to do to process it in whichever way you want. So once I realized that tone was a problem, I took the video within 3 or 4 hours of upload, and we were going to decide what to do next. And a lot of people were criticizing my interactions on Twitter leading up to this video coming out, but a lot of it was personal catharsis for me because this was such a hard project, and we were working on it for such a hard time, and it was hard for me personally. It was sad hearing about all these stories, like regardless. And that was interpreted as ego. And just for full disclosure, I was dealing with a PTSD episode in response to everything that happened with the failure of this video. So people assumed my silence was complicit or guilt, and it makes me feel really weird because it makes me feel like I'm not even allowed to have my own space to process decisions that I make at my own speed. Like if I don't react immediately, then suddenly I'm guilty of everything everyone can think of. So just for the record, I hate creators with ego. I know I joke a lot about myself, but I really don't think you should be making art or anything really with ego attached, art especially, because I feel like that's kind of a sacred thing to do. But with ego, you make it about power dynamics and who has the most subscribers or who has the most views. And it's just exhausting. And that's one of the reasons I've been doing YouTube the way I've been doing it for as long as I have, is because I love art and animation, and I like talking about it in a way that I can express and have fun with. It's just a part of who I am and what I want to do and what, like, my deep artistic soul. So I would probably just be doing it anyway in my head. The real question no one really asks is, okay, but what was she trying to say? If you've never heard my side before, I'm here to make sure there's even a second side to hear. And I invite you to sit with the patterns of these issues, not the personalities. So the core of the main video originally was to criticize DA Games' Will Ryan and the rest of his team for not only how they run their Discord server, but how they handle their interactions with their fans, specifically children. There is documented proof of problematic behavior, including using slurs, accounts of parasocial behavior, and the worst one, accidentally sharing inappropriate images in the server that children have access to. And instead of addressing it and apologizing and giving a plan for how they're never going to do it again, they just erase the evidence. And if a creator has access to children and behaves recklessly, that deserves scrutiny, period. Fame just isn't a shield. So let's get this straight. The core of the video was not only my interactions with DA Games, but how they handle issues of grooming and specifically issues with children. We're talking about someone with influence, access, and no real oversight. This isn't cancel culture. We're not trying to cancel anyone. This is community protection. It should have been everyone's concern, frankly. And yet, the second I brought it up, the focus became my tone, not the risk. Let's be clear, the internet will always turn everything into content. But some things aren't content, they're warnings. I didn't come forward because I wanted attention. I came forward because kids were involved. And if the biggest takeaway from that is still, she seems mad, then we need to take a hard look at what kind of fandom culture we're building. What I liked or didn't like doesn't change whether a grown man acted recklessly around minors. So let's talk about the power of a creator. If you're a creator with a young fan base, you don't get to be reckless. You don't get to play naive. This isn't a hobby. It's a position of power. And when that power is mishandled, then people can get hurt, especially kids who don't know when someone is crossing a line. The question shouldn't have been, why did KP say it like that? It should have been, what was she trying to say? This wasn't about one incident. It was a pattern, a documented, long-standing one. If the roles were reversed, if a small creator ignored this kind of behavior in someone else, they'd be complicit. So why is it controversial to speak up when I did? The risk wasn't the careers, the risk was the kids who trusted someone they admired and maybe didn't have the tools to know when that trust was being broken. I shouldn't have been the first person to say it. I mean, I wasn't, but I'm glad I did. So during this, I recorded a story for my safety about someone making an explicit story about me. First off, I want to apologize. I thought it was clear that I was recording Chris, but I should have just said it outright. But the recording was framed worse than the harm, like worse than making up a gross, illicit story about another person that might affect their career prospects and don't tell them until the story gets back to them. It makes it seem gross. And if you're more upset about how someone defended themselves than why they had to, that's not accountability. Some people have pointed out that it was unfair that I recorded Chris without his explicit knowledge, which is fair, so I've taken down all the links of the recording. I don't have access to the raw file, but I've taken down where people have access to it. So in hindsight, I should have just asked Chris to do a public apology explaining the situation because I was personally afraid that that story would continue to harm business friendships and relationships because no one would ever have the corrected version. Would Chris have done that? I don't know. I don't really know Chris, but that was a little bit of my fear, to be honest. I'm just exhausted of people talking about me without me having a way to respond. And DA Games, they loved me. They sent me 3 legal requests, including 2 that they used dummy accounts to send me. Pause to read if you want to. So they seem more focused in silencing the people that actually had criticism than addressing and correcting the actual criticism. So now we get to Saber. My personal connection with Saber Spark was uncomfortable, and I'll just leave it at that. So going to Saber was about holding Chris accountable for his behavior, for the story, the Nazi images, but especially his behavior that endangered children and unhealthy DA Games behavior at large. And he framed me as a jealous girl mad about rejection. Shout out to Jenny Nicholson for calling out how he implied a narrative about open communication, but the evidence doesn't support that. She's the GOAT. And I don't want to be mean, but I am not crushing. Sit down, sir. I'm open for our Skype logs being made public to prove what happened. I'm tired of stories being shaped in private. Saber can contact me if he wants to do that. We have already tried contacting him, and I have verification from a mutual party that he's seen those emails and chosen not to respond. And just to be clear, I don't want to make content like Saber. Dismissing shows as cringe or surface level ruins audience engagement and emotional nuance. Cynical creators create shallow viewers and hurts the creators behind the work. This can harm executive decisions on struggling shows unfairly. We should fight for the future of animation, not mock it in the algorithm. Anyway, going back to Saber, he framed this as tone problems. And one of the things that came from that is that the perfect victim myth got reinforced. More resources in the description if you don't know what that is. The video was emotional testimony, not gossip. Others use the video for content without context. What do you mean turns into, how can I monetize this? Cartoon Sheep, person I've never met before this, didn't reach out to me, didn't quote any actual intentions, and didn't seem interested in checking his assumptions. He made a spectacle out of a story he wasn't part of, then acted like his read was the neutral, mature one. But really, it's lazy and passive gaslighting in language of reasonableness. This seems to be a pattern with a lot of people that were commenting on this case. And if your intentions were really good and not monetizing YouTube drama for your own personal gain, why don't you donate your monetization profits to charity? I'll wait for the receipts. So one of the things I did was review the video with other trauma survivors, so I didn't realize that experience wasn't universal. And then people benefited from it. Like this one instance, where someone shared a DM publicly without context after offering to help me and being a fanboy, and then a spicy comment was about coping, not about dismissal. This wasn't ethics, this was optics. And then there was a situation with Courtney P. For those who don't know, Courtney P is another YouTuber, and she got into a fight in the live chat with another trauma survivor, and it wasn't great. And for the record, I disagree with how Courtney acted. I checked on the person she dismissed, discussed things directly, and cut ties. I'm just kind of done with Courtney. Something else I noticed is a lot of people who talk about me only talk about their side of the story, often framed for clout or trends. And this can incite harassment, unfortunately, so just please be more careful and have more honest conversations. There was how Mr. Enter treated me initially. He used the lettering tone in comments like, "This isn't My Little Pony Rachel," to dismiss valid emotional testimony. He reduced nuanced trauma to poor tone, not just mine but other people's, or emotional instability. He positioned himself as the reasonable adult versus immature fangirl, painting the story as punishment instead of pain. And he focused more on bullet points and timeline logic than the human impact. He assumed I was lying in places without giving me a chance to clarify. He ignored the deeper emotional truth about what was being said, and he dismissed it as drama. Despite everything, I still appreciate that Mr. Enter gave me a chance to talk, even though I should have waited a little bit. And let me also just be clear about this. Sometimes passion in men is seen as genius, but passion in women is seen as unstable. I know I'm intense. How I present myself in my YouTube videos when I'm a horse sometimes is not the same as how I present myself in real life and how my thought process works. I personally exaggerate myself for comedy, and that gets read as an oversimplified version of my character, which affects my fandom friendships sometimes. It makes me feel a little unsafe. Something I want to bring up too is that I think pity friendships or mentor-like friendships where you don't explicitly tell the other person that that's your goal are problematic and troubling, because I want to be in an environment where people see me as an equal. And when someone has this internal take that they're judging me based on my own content and assuming my voice for my content where I over-exaggerate myself is just my whole core, I exaggerate myself for comedic effect. And they say, oh, I'll help KP because she might just be a dumb, stupid fangirl, but at least I am the adult in the room and I'm the one who's going to steer her without having an explicit conversation about it. Like, it feels like you're taking my friendship for your own emotional validation, which I didn't sign up for. So I'm open to having honest conversations, but you have to treat my point of view as equal to other points of view that you're getting. Or else it's not a true level of respected friendship. It is someone trying to parent me without me asking for it. And let me also just be clear about this. Sometimes passion in men is seen as genius, but passion in women is seen as unstable. I know I'm intense. And sometimes in a team environment, if it's not just like a cool chill house with KP and it's actually work, I can get some backlash and it sucks. But I'm sorry if you've ever been hurt in that process. Like, please reach out if you want to. But I will be real and give you my experiences working with you. And if you're not ready for that emotionally, then I wouldn't bother right now. Think about it and decide what you want to do. And then it gets into a bigger problem. When fanboys catch feelings and don't get reciprocation, suddenly I'm crazy or too much. I stop being insightful and start being unstable. And when people volunteer for me, sometimes their expectations are fun times with KP, and they're being work, and me putting up my own boundaries seems dismissive of their expectations. Again, I'm not allowed to be a person sometimes. Gaslighting through facts. The survivors mess up dates or details and get dismissed completely. And trauma isn't a spreadsheet. Pain doesn't happen in bullet points. Like, can't we just admit that Saber might have made mistakes too? Sorry, I misread the situation, but I'll try to be more direct next time. Sometimes it isn't about severity, it's about narrative framing. Women framed as jealous, men as misunderstood. Even during editing, someone crossed boundaries who knew what the video was about. This isn't rare, this is a pattern. And when people volunteer for me, sometimes their expectations are fun times with KP, and they're being work, and me putting up my own boundaries seems dismissive of their expectations. Again, I'm not allowed to be a person sometimes. I'm not interested in building a brand on trauma. I'm not letting this get reframed as a scandal when it was a warning. Some things to take away from this is have honest conversation with your friends or your work environment. It can save a lot of stress, trust me. I know you don't have to agree with it, but I hope you sit with it, especially the child endangerment behavior. How can we use this experience to better share online communities for kids and adults? Should we have more strict age restrictions or more universal moderation guidelines for creators? Discord? And just a reminder that harassment is never okay. Criticism of the video and situation is fine, but people use this opportunity to tell me to unalive myself. And me taking space from the situation was seen as a dismissal of the concerns. I feel like I'm not allowed to have boundaries sometimes. And consider why you have to tell a person you never met that they shouldn't be alive anymore. That's not okay. Just some bonus things to take away from this. So regardless of Claire, the Black Griffin tweets are still kind of weird, right? Saber used my video's performance as an excuse to ignore the issues. So what's next? I've been working on a show pitch, and I'm really hoping something like my story can change the world. And just some happy things to end on. This is my dog Toby. He's a very cute dog and he likes to wear outfits, so please enjoy.
So, how everybody feel about all of that? The greater emotional truth. Genius in men versus genius in women. Unofficial or cutting official ties, public ties with Courtney. What a snaky, dishonest, deranged little creature. It's absurd. Like, you guys heard that. This is not the ramblings of a sane individual. This is not the ramblings of a person who wants to take accountability. This is a Disney adult with an ego issue. So, what do we do with people with ego issues? Well, the fun thing is, if you look into the drama currently going on with Aiden, which isn't just about me, Aiden and KP have one thing very much so in common. They can't stand it when people know embarrassing things about them and bully them. So guess what we're going to do with KP now? And once I'm done with this, I'm going to see if Alex is able to hop on. We'll have a conversation. Let's get into the reading. This was shown in my server. In the chat, you saw Riddle give okay for this. So this is what Riddle has said concerning KP living with him. Now, I want to be clear. The first time KP ever got upset at me is she was going to visit Riddle. And when she got to Riddle's place, it somehow turned into, I'm going to live here for a while. Riddle was obviously unhappy about that. KP came to me trying to get me on her side, and I told her she should have communicated clearer. It was her problem. She made the mistake. And she got mad and said that I overstepped boundaries, and she had to take a break from me. So here's what Riddle has said about living with KP. Things KP has done in my presence while living with me that have not been leaked yet that are abhorrent in my eyes. He says abhorrent, maybe that's the correct word. Forgetting to give her dog water and food on multiple occasions and forgetting to bring food for the dog at conventions. Not letting her dog go out to the bathroom at cons and would always at least once mess at any con she goes to. Not let the dog out in the morning so had a designated crap spot on the second floor. We lived on separate floors, essentially, ruining a family rug. Not check up on dog for vaccine/rabies shots unless forced to. Call all her staff/mods lazy in private behind their backs to me and other people, even though they all do her work. Took her dog out for a walk a grand total of 10 times in a year. Asked me to tuck her into bed at night and read her a bedtime story at multiple occasions in earnest, and implied if I didn't, it would mean I was a bad friend. A 30-year-old woman needed to be tucked into bed and read bedtime stories. Now, I've read stories in my server because it amuses me. Brother, I'm not tucking anybody in. Was forced to do any chore or basic upkeep like bathing and eating. Left used tampons in the garbage long enough for her dog to find and eat. We're not done. We are not done. There are things I could go on about, but they are things that myself have done in the past or not really above the bar in which I had a bad roommate engage in, like, these are things KP has done, playing porn games in the living room on her laptop, apparently Disney related and Avatar: The Last Airbender related. Why? Staying in bed all day instead of doing things she was scheduled to do, such as go to therapy, a doctor's appointment, or some other thing. Stay up very late on a work day while parents were visiting, keeping them up. Playing the TV so loud it can be heard from the other floors. Breaking our Nintendo Wii or other things and never making up for it or attempt to fix. Now, normally, I wouldn't want to embarrass somebody like this. But considering KP is trying to ruin the life of a friend of mine and others, no. All kindness revoked. Full steam ahead. Now, one thing you all need to know about the audio she sent me that you just heard. She constantly wanted me to give my opinion on it. You want to know why she wanted me to? Because I know this game. Same game Jar played. If I let Lio listen and he's okay with it, I can use Lio as a shield. So I didn't. I didn't tell her. She said, hey, can you take a listen soon? Want to tweak the next version soon? I said, I did. If you feel this is what you need to do, go for it. What happened between you and Courtney? Oh, that's such a I have a real opinion, but it will hurt your feelings vibe. We're just cutting ties professionally. I see. But can you give me a more direct opinion? Or I can wait to give you draft 2? The latter would probably be better. All right, wow, that bad, huh? More of a I can't really wrap my head around it thing, and brother, I couldn't. Besides, it's better to see something closer to its completion for a more solid opinion. Okay, that's fair. I thought it was a, oh no, KP's gonna shoot herself in the foot. How do I tell her vibe? Would the video draft with the receipts on screen be better? Yes. Hey, got him in, and I never talked to her during that time. I refused to let people use me as a shield to that degree. KP needed to eat what she had done. Now, what else do I have here? Well, I have this art sent in by a Beefamet of KP. Let me speak to your boss. I'll sue you with my parents' money. This is the most attractive she's ever looked. Lovely detail of the lipstick on the teeth. So, is there anything else in this folder? I can't remember. Oh, yes. So, KP wanted to be an animator. Now, I had at one point a link to her art Instagram. I can't find it anymore. Now, am I going to complain about Shigo in a high slit skirt? No. However, this was in 2022. This was the ability of her art, where she shades with black, Her knowledge on proportions, gesturing, and everything is bad. KP has claimed very clearly and proudly she's had over 100 hours in still life drawing practice. Now, to somebody who doesn't know art, that probably sounds, man, 100 hours, that's pretty impressive. Like, you play 100 hours at a video game, you get pretty decent at it, right? 100 hours at anything, you get decent. 100 hours in still life drawing is nothing. Children do it. Now, I'm not the best artist in the world. Lord knows that's true. KP's art is nowhere close to what professional animators do. She doesn't know animation. She's not good at art. Because instead of focusing on fundamentals and how to draw, she just wants to draw in the Kim Possible art style and nothing else. And Hidden's bugging me in DMs. What you want, woman? What you want? Ooh, hold on. Let me see. Is this the link I'm looking for? Taking forever to load. No, it's not. That's the one I got this from. There was one where it was actually like pencil and charcoal drawings. And, yeah. I don't know where that one went. KP actually thought the best way to get into animation is just connections and nothing more. Now, can you shade with black? Yeah. In certain situations, and if you're a traditional comic artist, you could. But not here. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let me see if I have anything else on here, because I don't think I do. Nope, nothing there. So, Alex, if you're in the chat, I'm going to my server, and I'm going to hop into the thing called Lyo's Office. I will join you there, and we will see how that goes. And if he doesn't show for a bit, we'll bring Hidden on to talk about her woes with this. Holy crap, okay. Look, I need to pull this up. Hidden actually gave me something very special indeed.
Hello.
Hello, Alice. Just give me a minute. I just passed something. I gotta share with people. This is embarrassing, dude.
That's fine. You go ahead, man. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this shit, by the way. Enjoying it to the fullest.
Dude, have you ever seen Rachel's Ko-Fi?
No. I have seen her art, though, and it is as shocking as... It is more shocking, if anything, than anything you're posting.
So I'm showing my chat right now Rachel's Ko-Fi and samples of her art. God. So this is one of three. So what are the other two? You can see it on stream, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a delay. I'm looking forward to it.
so there's some of the charcoal still life, which, you know, is fine. Actually, I could probably... Give me a second here. I might be able to help you with this.
Yeah. Boop. Man, I've seen some very fucking shit.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get into it. Look at this. Like, the charcoal drawing is normal. Like, that's pretty standard beginner. But
yeah.
Look at the rest of this.
I know, it's so bad, man. It's like... Don't. Oh my god, the guy.
Yeah, so not bad. I mean, this is beginner level stuff. This is beginner level stuff. But
yeah,
this is not, I'm well able to do animation.
No. God, no. God, no.
And this
she
is just...
also...
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I was going to say, I've also never seen her animate at all. I've never seen any animation work from her, like, the entire time I worked with her. Never saw it. The only people that animated for her were everyone on the team. Everyone.
I'm not surprised. So, this is what we have here. She wants $20 for a headshot, which is this. No line variants. Nothing of actual style or difference. Then a headshot. Yeah, I know, right? Headshot color or full body sketch, $30. So to use the paint bucket tool is an extra $10. Or
fucking hell.
What's the anatomy on this horse? She wants $40 for this?
Fuck off.
Oh, look at the full body color with shading. Look at that masterpiece.
It's bad. It's It's so bad. Like, I could do better in Photoshop, and I have got so limited skills in Photoshop.
Look, like, I've met 15-year-olds who do better. I'm kind of jealous, but still.
Yes.
We might enjoy the other thing later, hidden, but this is the sense of KP's art, and she thinks she should get $60 for this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. She wanted up to like $60. It's genuinely insanity how much she tried to commission art for, man.
So since I know either they're in the chat or they're gonna listen later. Axe, who's in the Axe? Raise your prices, woman.
Axe, raise your prices. You can make more.
Well, Axe is an excellent draftsman.
Oh, I've seen some Axe's stuff. Yeah. Great.
So let's see here. What else they didn't send me? What do you mean her likes on DeviantArt are insane? What do you mean her likes on Deviant? Oh no, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna suffer.
I've seen the likes on her DeviantArt, bro. You and already.
Probably not. Let's find out. Let's find out what her likes on DeviantArt are. Let me pull up the DeviantArt. The DeviantArt. Let me pull it up. I want to make sure it's safe for stream. So give me a second. I'm gonna suffer. I'm gonna suffer.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Let me go ahead and get the share screen up again for you.
I hate everything to do with this woman. It's driving me crazy. But give me a sec.
There is an image on here that the.
Hang on, Discord is not loading your screen share. Sorry.
Here, let me kill it.
There you go.
Start
I've
again.
got it.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
You just got it. I killed it. Got it. Okay, let's try it again. It's never a Lio stream without scuff. So I'm glad that this actually cuts off some of it because there's nudity on this sucker.
Oh, there is,
She is really self-obsessed. Good God.
God, yeah, no, you have no idea. Like, she is. Oh. Man, the fact that fucking the Shigo Draken shit every time, man.
I mean, I can't even be mad about that one because, I mean, who wouldn't want to be with Shigo? But that's not the point.
Yeah, Shigo, fine, but she ships these two so hard and it's awful.
I hope the chat didn't see that, but there was Shigo sex there that had Draken. I did not need to see that. What?
Yes.
I could. Why didn't you warn me? Hit it! Hit it, heroin! Why? I think my eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube. I think that's enough of this. I'm not subjecting anybody else to that. So now that you are here, thank you for joining me. I know it came out of nowhere that Norden's like, hey, Lyle wants to talk to you. So tell me about your background with Rachel here and the nonsense she's pulled with you.
Fuck me, right. So I was not on the team from like 2023, I want to say. And I knew of her through another YouTuber who I'm not going to name because he has zero involvement and I don't want to get him involved.
I'm going to say who it is. It was OJ Simpson.
I wish.
He's dead now. He's dead now. He can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything. No, so I got involved through another YouTuber, and basically I was like, you know what? I don't know I have free time. This person wants help with managing their channel. I can do that. Fine. That's what I did. Basically, 2 months into the job, I basically get handed everything, and she's like, just run the channel. So I'm running the channel. I'm running the team. I'm running like every video, every edit. Like I'm overseeing everything apart from final like notes. Because KP would take fucking months to ever get back to you on any feedback, and the feedback was so bare minimal. Like it would be like, change this, change that. I would have to be like, please, just tell us what the fuck you want. And then she'd add like random jokes to shit that didn't need, like later on in the line. Like we had to bully her into making scripts, man. We had to fucking bully her into making scripts.
She's a grown child.
She's a grown child. But if you, I mean, I'm repeating a lot of stuff I've already said a lot of times, but basically, I had to endure her bullying other team members, some who she knew situations were happening with them, like some tech stuff, some life stuff. There was constant. I had to constantly infight her all the time. And when she made the switch about Lily Orchard, so I didn't know who Lily Orchard was because I'm not a brony or connected to the fandom in any way, shape, or form. I didn't actually know much about KP at all. I don't come from that sort of background. I'm, not in that circles at all. So when she would introduce me to who Lily Orchard was, which she lied to me about initially, by the way, I wasn't actually told anything about Lily Orchard, what she did, because KP just said, oh, she did some things and I have to cut her off. And I was like, okay, cool, I don't give a shit. She basically wanted that. I've already previewed the script on screen. She wanted to add like loads of basically whatever the Saber Spark video became was going to be the Lily video. So yeah. So if you imagine the Saber Spark video is awful, imagine what the Lily video could have been. God. And I had hours fight with her. I like it's for clarification, it's like 3 a.m. in the morning for me. UK, yay. But like I had hours of fighting with her, being like, you can't do this. This is about someone who is an alleged rapist and doing this shit to one of their siblings. You cannot make light of it. That is not how this works. And she would just constantly fight with me. To be fair, I fought with her as well, but like, I think someone mentioned the Jasmine video in your chat. So if you don't know, she made a video about the porn game Jasmine, which she would play in her own time.
Why?
She forced me to play 11 hours of this game. 11 hours. And then when it came to making the video, someone else found footage and used that anyway. So my recordings were null and void. She basically kept going on about this porn game and then wanted to do a follow-up video about a Kim Possible porn game. An aged-up Kim Possible porn game after... Yes, it's gross. So yeah, put a fucking stop to that. Because I'm like, God, no. Don't. Yeah, so basically I ran the channel for a year, just past her being hacked, and then was basically constantly fighting with her, having to deal with a fucking dog. Because she wouldn't shut the thing up any time, it would just bark constantly. At one point it ran out the house, like she'd open the door to like for air or whatever, and the dog just bolted out into the road, into the street. And she wouldn't move. Riddle had to go get the dog.
I don't know about that one.
Riddle had to go get the dog at one point. So bunch of shit, and it was basically a year of my life I will never get back.
So, since you've been on the inside, what is it you think draws people to wanting to work for her? What's like the appeal there?
There is one. I think it's either someone who doesn't know who she is, or they are already an avid fan. So a lot of the times she will go job hunting, quote unquote, in and around her fan circles and on her Discord, and then get free labor through her Discord. It's always through Discord. It's always through her fans. It's never through like legitimate means, because I've seen all the back end. I've seen it all. It's always her fans. They're either super young and naive, have basically shit. I've just knocked my own microphone over. Either have like zero to none video experience, zero to none video editing experience. She wants them to have extensive knowledge in Adobe Premiere Pro, own their own copy of Premiere Pro, and she wants to act professional, and that's how she.
So a couple clarifying point. Okay, so I have to address the chat real quick.
Sure.
Alex said that the KP or Kim Possible game was aged up, so I highly doubt there were any characters there that were like actually 16. So we can say enough correct mean things about KP without exaggerating. Okay. Riddle also says she would during the winter just let the dog out and she would not follow the dog out. We don't have a fence, so we would run around the entire neighborhood. I found out about this later. I eventually installed a stretchy leash around the mailbox, and we should just let the dog out without a leash. So I had an even longer one attached to the inside of the house, and even then still didn't. Why am I not surprised? So what made you finally decide to leave the Koresh institution here?
What made me want to leave? Oh God, how long's you got? The constant bullying and harassment of one of the other team members, the constant messaging me at like 4 a.m. wanting to work and do things my time, the constant the constant fact that I would try and run meetings for her team and for her videos, and she would never turn up. When she went into the hospital, she was trying to micromanage the team from the hospital. I believe she had the dog with her. I can't remember. It's been a little while. Actually, but my recollection is...
I think she didn't. If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong here, I think Riddle said that when she went to the hospital, she just let the dog out and didn't tell Riddle, and they had to find the dog a couple days later because KP is so responsible. So also add animal abuse to all the stupid crap KP does.
Oh, that fucking dog is untrained, man. That fucking dog is untrained.
Yeah, but it's not the dog's fault, you know?
No, it's not the dog's fault. Toby's innocent in this whole thing.
And no, King Beat, this is not Musha I'm talking about. Not everybody with a British accent is Musa. Okay, she did have the dog at the mental hospital. Okay, well that's good. But either way, like this is animal abuse regardless, and I have a very short fuse for that type of stuff. So if you were able to say anything to her current staff right now, what would it be?
Leave.
Fair. So has KP done any other retaliatory actions towards you since you left?
Oh boy. Yeah, so after we had a call, where basically she accused me of harassing her, which I wasn't doing at the time. I was actually sort of defending her in a Discord. Stupid mistake, I know. But after this, we had a call. I had a call with her. We ended things quite amicably. I said, I wish you well. I don't approve what you're doing, but I wish you well. And then she sent me a massive paragraph of text, basically accusing me of being, just the worst person ever, and then basically like going, oh, you're incompetent, you weren't running the team well, you weren't making videos on time. Most of that was her fault. You're not surprised. The other sort of thing was the idea that, she then, Life-Ruination. She contacted my boss. She contacted my employer.
I'm sorry, what?
She contacted my employer. I got this message when I woke up after I got this message after a work meeting. So I was in a work call, and my boss pulled me aside with the director of the company and said, "Hi, do you know of a Rachel?" And I went, "Oh, for God's sake!" And I went, "Yes." And she went, "Yeah." She emailed me, my boss, and she sent basically what he concluded was a ranting letter to him, and he dismissed it because he was like, "No, it's clearly someone who is, pissed off at you for something, and it's not really my business." And he was just like, "Be careful what you put online," which is fair enough. But yeah, she contacted my boss and tried and failed to get me removed from my company that I work for.
Because you didn't want to work with her and told the truth about her.
Because I mentioned her. No, specifically because I mentioned she went to a psychiatric hospital. Specifically. Because Beckett put the clip up on his Twitter. which he had full permission to do, by the way. I said on record that he could do that. That was fine by me. It wasn't like he did it maliciously. I told him he could do that. I said that was fine. I don't care.
So if I were to ask you, 'cause I will say, like, I am sorry that happened. That's insane.
Thank you.
Like, who does that? Like, look, dude, I've dealt with like predators before, and the only way any of them have ever gotten fired is because their bosses run into what they've done organically. Like, I don't even do that to those freaks, and I actually try to get them to kill themselves. So the fact that KP did that because you disclosed, let me see here, something that to my knowledge was already pretty well publicly known, is insane.
Yes,
it is insane. Like, what do you think her dysfunction is? What do you think her actual problem is here?
She grew up very, very privileged, and basically had everyone do everything for her, and she's had zero life skills. She's had no one to actually, tell her that what she's doing is wrong, or no one's ever given her any accountability. Mentally, I think she's just fucked from, just having, basically, her parents don't give a fuck about her because her brother's so successful, they're like, concentrate on you. You're the one making money. This one's a degenerate. I think genuinely she's confused a lot of like her PTSD or whatever she claims she has. Because I X'd doubt that she has PTSD because of a 16-year-old.
I think she does. I think she does. She has post-traumatic stupid disorder.
Agreed. I'll agree with you there, bud. She's fucking stupid. Oh, don't. She used to, like, boast to us about, like, oh, I went to film school. I was like, we went for 4 days.
Oh, my God.
You went for 4 days and hated it and left.
Of course, it took work.
Oh.
That.
No.
Work is for poor people.
Can't have work. God. Can't invest in your future at all. God, who wants to do that?
Jeez. So, this is just ridiculous. So from the outside looking in, and also at one point from the inside looking out, you've seen now what KP is willing to do to go to all these lengths. So, what do you think KP should do at this juncture?
Honestly, in my genuine opinion, I think she should really apologize to Saber. It's not that she has to, but I think morally she needs to, because at that point it's not redemption. It's, at least it's a trying to be a decent human being. Realistically, I think she should just leave the internet. Just don't come back. You will never get your reputation back. You'll never have any sort of, want or need from anyone in the industry. You've been blacklisted by several conventions. Your career is dead. You have gone. Go legitimately, and I don't mean this by memeing, get a job and learn how the real world works, because it will give you much more of an insight in how people actually operate, and it might give you some actual perspective on people, because you just need to leave. I've told you, and addressing her directly, by the way, because I know she's listening, because of course she is. She's a narcissist.
Wait, hold on. I need to make this clear. I know, KP, that you're going to have your friends listen to this to retail information.
Yeah.
Tell her, do it herself. Don't pass her the information about the stream. Tell her to listen, specifically to what Alex is going to say. Go ahead. I want to make sure that was clear.
Right. So, I want to be specifically clear to you, Rachel, because I know you all listen to this, or someone will tell you, because you're too much of a coward to actually hear me tell you. I told you not to go into this field at all. I told you specifically that drama is not your style. I told you specifically in several calls. I said to you that drama will only bring about negativity. It will only bring about constant harassment. It will only bring about because people who do drama well do not get themselves involved, because it's messy. It's got you into this state. The fact that you went after my job and I am still willing to talk should tell you more about me than just about you. Because you aren't going to silence me, and you aren't going to silence anyone. You realistically should leave. Go. Go away from the internet. Fuck it. Shut down your channel. I don't give a fuck. Just leave. Because you are never going to recover from this. You know, if Saber sues you, you will be lucky to get off lightly. You will be lucky to get off lightly. You have zero chance of redemption. You are never going to be no one's going to ever respect you. You're like, oh, I'll come back for another video. Another video isn't going to solve it. It's never going to solve it. It's never going to bring you back. You are fucked beyond high belief. And personally, and I hope you hear this, fuck you for doing what you did to me. It hasn't stopped me, and I will never stop until you stop.
Yeah.
Because I am sick of tired of people being fucked around by people like you. Alright? I am sick to death of people. Fucking Courtney and you messed up my life forever because of fucking Bonnabelle, and I had to deal with that shit as well.
Oh, so that was you too. That was you too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, wild.
Mm-hmm.
You had to deal with a lot of stupid, crazy crap. Welcome to it.
Yeah. Bonnabelle was a whole situation I had to deal with as well. I'm just sick and tired of talking about her, honestly. Because from my perspective, Leo, I am a Twitch streamer who makes dumb jokes in the internet. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want the attention. I'm happy to sit in the background and just get on with life. That's who I am. That's what I wanted to do. But she has forced my hand constantly, and every time, like, randomly, right? She censored me in her document. She censored me, even though she links to the clip of me talking about her. Oh, I just don't get what her game is. You know, I just don't understand what she's thinking, how she works, because it's so beyond stupidity that even I can't begin to comprehend what her next move is, because it's so dumb.
Right. So here's what I'm gonna do. Have you ever seen the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
All right. So you know the scene where like he meets his old friend and they do like that manly high five, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So we're gonna emotionally do that right now, and I'm looking you in the eye. Swear with me, no more working for crazy white women.
No more working for crazy white women.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get by this. I'm sorry you were dragged into so much crap. That puts some things into context. It puts a lot into context now, because KP did apparently complain about you because she recontextualized your concerns about moving into drama as they don't really want to fight the good fight. Truth of the matter is, neither did KP. This was all about her ego. It was never about doing what's right, which is unfortunate because I'm kind of tired of dealing with those types of people.
Yes. No, she only went after Saber's part because the Lily video did well.
Yeah.
She only went after Saber because the Lily video did well. We had this whole discussion of her jumping on to do the Saber Spot video, and I said to her, don't do this. I was like, if you want to do the Lily video because you felt you need to, do it, but this is my perspective. But
you can just do a one and done.
Yeah.
You can. And you know what? I will say, I still give KP her flowers for putting out one of the most damning things about Lily. Like, that's fine. Showing that Lily's willing to run from being confronted by it. That's still good, regardless of what KP has done. But I think she realized she got a lot of positive attention from that for the first time since the Brony years. And she wanted to recreate that. And when you're dealing... Here's the thing. I deal with crazy people. Like, constantly. And sometimes people don't recognize. They will unironically just show up to do the old Western gunslinger crap with you. I am kidding you not. Last Friday, I was in a call in this server, just hanging out, and some lunatic shows up and starts giving this anime villain speech in the middle of us just hanging out. And we're like, the heck is wrong with these people? If you're gonna do drama, you gotta. I love it. You can get involved directly, but brother, you better be tough. You gotta be able to put up with a lot of crazy crap.
You've gotta have a thick skin.
And she doesn't.
No. She, that's what I wonder about. I was like, you can't take this. You cry when I criticize you, and I'm working with you.
Did she constantly tell you that you were violating her boundaries?
Oh, constantly. Constant. She even accused me of her, being attracted to her at one point, and I went, no.
Oh, dude. Like, when she was doing the convention circuit, she was constantly trying to get me to join her at the convention circuit, right? And it came down to, I kept telling her, hey, I work a full-time job, got a family, I can't just randomly go to conventions. So she kept pressuring. And I had to get to the point where, like, the only way I'm going to get through this is just by essentially driving attention to her ego. And I had to tell her, KP, I am a married man. Do you have any idea how inappropriate it would be for me to go out of state to spend a weekend at a hotel with a single woman? Because I knew, like, if I put the onus on her and her ego, then she'll understand. And suddenly, it made sense to her.
She wanted me to go to conventions, and I was like, one, I'm not flying in, because that's at least $1,000 to fly into America.
Right.
And second of all, I don't want to spend a weekend with you in a hotel room just for a convention for things I don't know or understand, and I would be so out of place and so uncomfortable the entire time. She wanted me on panels with her. She wanted me to do like a Q&A panel with her, and I was like, God no, I have social anxiety. I ain't doing that shit.
Dude, and to run a panel, you actually have to be entertaining, and you have to know what you're talking. Because I've done like a bunch of panels at conventions. Why? Was it to build up my ego? Look at my brand. No, it was like, hey, I really like animation. Let's talk about the difference between Japanese animation and Western animation. Let's talk about the history of this mecha franchise. Let's talk about the history, yada yada. KP's like, I'm gonna do a little doodle, but bodies are hard, so we're gonna do headshots. Like, oh my god, there's like 2 people in the crowd. What the heck?
Oh god, have you seen some of the convention footage? It's like some of them are like 5 people in the crowd. I'm like, there are people that can pull more than you at any convention, and you know, and they're doing less.
Right. So the thing is, if KP wanted to hate you, all she had to do, dude, was just say, "Well, you're British, so," and I'm American.
I'd be like, that's fine. Fuck you, Yank.
Tax dodgers.
You go to any pub in the UK and you mention you're American, you will have a sea of tutting.
Well,
American,
right? So I'm gonna go ahead and say this for Vlad because he had to say it. He said, and I quote, "She has bacterial vaginosis." Okay, Vlad. All right. Vlad. Well, welcome to my server. You can hang out if you want to. You can just be you're not expected to do anything. Just chill, enjoy the vibes if you want. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and then check you later. I'm gonna bring you Hidden in here so Hidden can tell me her well. Right. So let me know if you need anything, Chief. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
So Hidden, come on, Hidden. Come on to the call. I know you want to. The German woman wants the attention. Come on, Hidden. Just don't hit any stop signs or stoplights on your way in. Or maybe I screwed it up just to piss you off, Vlad. You ever thought of that? Vlad? Hi.
Hi.
So you want to tell the chat what's been going on with you from your own mouth? In your own words?
Sure, I can, yeah, okay. So, as most people are aware, last year, hi Julie, I was briefly involved in the whole Saberspark situation and KP's apology. So after she issued her first apology, I reached out to her, and I was like, do you still need help? Because I was stupid. I was under the assumption I could be nice, I could be helpful, you know, so I was like, do you still need help? And then we didn't, manage to have a call at all for, 2 months before. Also your chat can't hear me again, apparently, somehow.
Yeah, I gotta turn it up. Alex was louder than you one moment.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, after we finally had the call, it was pointed out to me that Girly Pop apparently was lying to me. And she also gave me access to her script written by ChatGPT regarding the Q&A that she wanted to put out. I read through the script, realized she's absolutely batshit insane because she's doubling down on like accusing Chris Aficionado of sexual harassment, accusing Saber of rape, and then making a bunch of shit up regarding Beckett, that I was like, I am not going to withhold this from the public. So I made a parody of it using my husband's voice and a bunch of visuals, and I uploaded that. Girly Pop did not like that. KP did not like that at all. So at first she put a privacy notice on the call, which I could just ignore, and then she put a copyright strike on the Q&A. That forced me to take it down, and I was faced with two choices. I leave it down, or I counter. And I countered. And because I countered, I gave KP my full docs. Name, address, phone number. And then for 2 months, well, 3 months by now, nothing happened. Until a few days ago, I received a letter from my local police station. And it was a summons. That means there's currently an investigation going on, and she's accusing me of two things. One is a civil charge, which is breaking copyright, and the much worse part is the criminal charge, because she's accusing me of recording a conversation without her consent and publishing it. And because that's a criminal charge, I cannot get any help with the legal fees, because any pro bono or anything else would only be covered if it's civil charges. So, I died, briefly, and then I opened my Ko-fi, and I asked people if they would help, because I needed help. I desperately needed help. So after I contacted a lawyer, he gave me a base fee of 2,420 euros, which is roughly 3k USD, and I put that Ko-fi goal up, and we hit it within 10 hours. And I couldn't be more grateful. Like, unironically, I couldn't be more grateful. The people were so generous, including people like Monstrous, people like Pinker, even like Anthony Gramuglia apparently, which, like, okay. And this is what baffles me so much. KP is so unhinged that she managed to unite my haters in support of me. Like, that should give you, like, just an idea of how unhinged she is. Now, the problem with this is, and the reason why I'm fighting this instead of just letting it happen, Lamau, is because if this charge goes through, it could not only ruin the job I currently had and get me fired, but it could also ruin any future prospects, and it could also ruin my immigration to the US, because I'm currently trying to immigrate to be with my spouse. And the US is kind of really strict about who they let in. So if there's a criminal charge, there's a chance that they're going to reject my application. So she's not just affecting my YouTube career and my views, because who cares if I have to take down a video, but she's now actively putting me in a position where I could lose my job, I could not find a new job, and I could lose my chance to be with my spouse. So right now, what I'm doing is we're hoping to reduce the charge to either nothing and get it dismissed, or a very minor charge. And I have a GoFundMe up because my Ko-fi was reported and taken down. So if you guys want to donate to my GoFundMe, you can. This is literally just a backup in case I need more legal fees than I've already gotten. Because she picked a wonderful moment, because I'm also, as I've covered in a previous stream, currently fighting a $20,000 charge regarding a rental that I wrecked. So, yeah.
The revenge from the traffic light you killed.
Yeah, the traffic light reparations are in full goings. But yeah, no, like, everything's on fire. If you want to help, my GoFundMe is on my channel. It's also on my Twitter, and I think I've posted it in Cat's Lair. If you don't want to help, feel free to share. I am in hell. Help. Smile.
Alright, so you now have heard it from the Hidden's mouth that this person is so malicious they're trying to push criminal charges over hurt feelings. So that's actually what this all comes down to. KP's mad she didn't get to control the narrative. She didn't control what people said about her. She didn't get control the fact that she wanted to smear somebody. So she's trying Life-Ruination. So, the only downside is it's kind of hard to ruin KP's life in return. She ain't got one to ruin. Maybe that billboard should go up, though. But thank you for hopping in and explaining that. I'm going to go ahead and read Super Chats and close out the stream. I'm redirecting all of you to Vlad's stream covering Purple Sacramentin. Be warned, it's Vlad. Do not expect the same type of language and behavior you see here. That'd be very foolish. Vlad. So let me go ahead and good God, you guys have been very kind with the Super Chats. So Raccoon, $5. Lio, tell me, what did you get for Christmas? Pet Gidget for me. Nothing, because I don't celebrate it. Raccoon for another $5. Stop making remakes of old cartoons. Agreed. Tusky, who also did like the Yellow Diamond KP you see here, which I didn't even find out about till later. $2. Seeing an edit in my edit and thumbnails making my day. Not gonna lie, well, I'm glad. It was a fun edit to look at. Dancer for $5. If Chris the Narc ever comes back, I hope he bullies Goat Cato and Frick the Pirate more. He was right about them. They learned nothing from the Shister drama. True. Dancer for $5. Lio just called her by her name Rachel. I'm tired of that Karen associating with the old cartoon. Call her Rachel. Use the power word. Salty Cheerios for $5. Disney's gone down the pooper lately, so I don't know why she wants to work for them. True. Scully for $2. Nice to know KP and entertaining since the heyday. Good pun. Gojillion91 for $2. Screw KP. True. Seraphy for $5. KP is known in the industry, and my sister's fiance, who is in the industry, knows about her, and she's on a soft blacklist. Not surprised. Agumon T1 for $5. I like to call Monstrous the point of no return, where you can't tell if they're still playing a character or not. You never know with her. Seraphy for $5. Even the other studios outside Disney don't want her. LOL. Sister's fiance works for Illumination, Netflix, and the studio that produces Rick and Morty. That'd be Warner Brothers Studio. Beefamets for $2. Barbie somehow sees this. Clean your room. That is true. Barbie did show a picture of her room, completely dirty, with a dildo in the floor. And when Gallagher asked her, "Why is your house dirty?" her reply was, if you ever want to know how disconnected she is from the common man, "The maid has not been by to clean it yet." All right. Floaty for $5.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, you can. Hi, Julie.
I just wanted to say I know it's the end of the stream, but goddamn, there's a lot of viewers. Be sure to like the stream, you guys.
Oh my God, that's gay. Why you gotta be gay like that in my chat?
Because it's my job, peepaw. Everyone enjoy yourselves. Donate more before he ends. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Julie. Thanks for coming by. All right, so that is what happened. But then again, I also nuked everything. If I had the picture, I'd put it up because I don't mind embarrassing Barbie. Floaty for $5. Is this Barbie girl in a Barbie world made of plastic? And it is fantastic. Venkman for $5. To paraphrase Roger Moore, there's a useful 4-letter word, and KP's full of it. True. Lacy Black Cat for $2. Bring me my fighting belt. Yes. Raccoon for $5. Rachel's YouTube channel should be taken down. This has to be against TOS. It actually is, so hopefully. Grey Knight CMD for $20. Her arguments for unlawfully obtained is that she gave them to a friend, and that friend gave it to Beckett and others for unreleased response video, and because they pushed it first, that was unlawful. Yeah. Prince Piplup III for $5. Us, I'm tired of this grandpa internet. That's too dang bad. Add more chaos. Yes. Digital Sketch for $10. Since you can't read this, Hidden is awesome, and you should give her your money. Fair. Grey Knight CMD for $5. Also, Opblock didn't get this info from Beckett or Barbie, apparently. I have no idea where he got it from. Raccoon for $10. This so is AI. Even Jarvis would be insulted by this doc. True. Which, by the way, brings copyright into question. Toby for $5. I am so late. Was listening to a video on Milarepa. I don't know what that is. You know, I'm going to make a reference, and you get a no prize if you get it. We are so late, man. Grey Knight CMD for $20. Nice. And 5. It's AI because it's super repetitive, and like 95% doesn't apply to Beckett or Barbie or anyone else who made a video on her. If you think this is bad, it gets way worse. She's apparently reported Barbie to her local state bar. Archer BT for $2. Jar SKP collab video win. Oh god, that's unholy. Grey Knight CMD for $20. Unreleased works have the strongest copyright protections when it's an illegal printing by a publisher. Haven't looked into it. Sorry, Ian, I already promised who I'd raid into. Let's see here. But if you guys want, K-Huck is also going to be streaming, and all the proceeds are going to Hidden's GoFundMe. So if you want to go to K-Huck's instead, you're welcome to. I'll link that in the chat in a minute. Digital sketch for $10. If I ever become this bad, please give me the old Yeller treatment. I'll give you the Old Testament treatment. Raccoon for $2. Pop off, Lyle man. I always do. Venkman for $5. KP's not a Disney princess. She's the evil stepmother. Also true. Grey Knight CMD for $2. This lead poisoning hits different. Fair. Idiots Anonymous for $5. Good luck with all this, Lyle. I don't need luck. I have violence. Polygonal for $10. If you ever feeling stagnant in life and don't want to become KP, you should look into courses in your local community college. A lot of classes are online, and they offer certificates for certain trades. Also true. GG Pixels for $20. Or you can literally just work at Burger King. I'm late, but you, KP. Boo her, chat. Boo. Are they saying boo or boo earns? Belsi Gal for $5. Thanks for tolerating Belsi's proofreading tips and tricks during the raid of the doc. It will probably happen again, or reading of the doc. It will probably happen again. I apologize in advance. No apology needed. Yen for $2. Can't believe she ran a bleed build. Shame. Oh, God. Rays of Red for $2. Would you rather have the Birdie or KP for roommate? I would rather have KP simply because Birdie is a different type of freak, but we would not be roommates long. I would run KP off so freaking quick. Magical Raccoon 707 for $2. Hashtag free the dog. GG Pixel for $1. The Shigo Homunculus maybe go draw again. Thanks, KP. Nice. Gildapoo for $2 both times. Lio Convoy is platforming a criminal. You can do it again. Hidden is a career criminal. Heard it here first. Yes, she breaks all the laws. The one and only Phineas for $2. Hearing Alex's story has a pattern with KP clear. It's made a pattern with KP clear. True. Dancer for $5. I just realized what if Dreamer false flag Hidden's Ko-Fi. They tried to flag Chuli's GoFundMe. Also heard rumors streamers in Ghost Discord or was. I think they still are. However, it's just a single flag wouldn't do it. They'd need more help than that. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I already gave Vlad my word that I'd raid into him, I will post the link to K-Huck stream if you choose to go there instead. That way you guys can make your own decisions. Boop. So you guys can go there. This has been insane. If she does anything dumb, I will update you. If, also going to go ahead and pin the message to have Hidden's GoFundMe. If KP does something insane, I'll cover it. Thank you all for joining me. I will catch you all later. Have a good weekend. Soon, we're going to skin Goat alive. I'm going to give Goat Cattle a reason to actually hate me instead of something they made up. Because you know the old saying, if somebody hates you for no reason, give them a reason. Good night, everybody.
Don't miss the super androids that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The mighty Silverhawks.
Afternoons at 4.
Thundercats! Ho! Thunder excitement is flying at you this fall when the Thundercats tear into action.
Let's cut those mutants down to size.
Get ready to strike a blow for justice this fall with the mighty Thundercats.
Lupin! Lupin! That man is a notorious thief who worked all over the world!
Let's go meet this treasure that's soon to be ours.
Don't say that I didn't warn you. You can't fool me! You're planning something again!
Jeez, Pops, can't get anything past you.
He'll steal your heart, and then he's coming for everything else. Lupin the Third, premiering next Saturday night at 2.
Take it off.
That'll be my pleasure!
Only Toonami on a...
ビーストウォーズセカンド最大の敵がついに目覚めたライオンコンボイ変身新司令官の登場だガルバトロントランスフォーム破壊大帝驚異の三段変形ライオン台風史上最大の対決に君も参加せよだから トランスフォーマービーストウォーズ
If one is born a man, at least once in his life, he will dream of becoming the strongest man alive.
Are you surprised at all? This is Orochi-style karate.
That's it, baby. Come straight for me.
Your training has paid off most impressively. I'd be happy to reward you now for all the progress you've made. You could never equal What an adorable little playground you have here.
Baki the Grappler.
You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cat. Name, automatic cement launcher. Function, launches pre-mixed fast-drying cement at the rate of 5,000 GPM, glots per minute. Very effective at freezing monsters right in their tracks. Ending transmission. You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, Jake Clausen. Occupation, garage mechanic. Alias, Razor. Real job, SWAT Cat. Designs gadgets to capture bad guys. Goal, protection of Mega Cat City. Favorite expression, bingo. Ending transmission.
Meet St. Canard's Most Wanted.
Eat wanted, Starkling!
There's Megavolt, criminal circuit breaker.
It's playtime!
Quacker Jack, fiendish felon. Bushroot, experiment gone haywire.
I'm really not sinister, just misunderstood.
And diabolical evildoer, Nega Duck.
A rotten kind of guy!
And only one superhero can stop them.
The original, Mr. Fix-It! Get him!
Darkwing Duck.
A new Optimus Prime is here.
I'll transform Optimus! Power Master Optimus Prime, greatest leader of his time.
It's great to be back.
Now, Optimus Prime is back as a Power Master. He only transforms when his Nebulon becomes his engine.
Power Master Optimus Prime. Look, Optimus is transforming into a super robot. Power Master Transformers. They've got the power to surprise.
The Earth lies shattered and broken. A ruined wasteland that is now struggling to sustain life. Humanity is near the end after a devastating global meltdown. The oceans have been boiled away in nuclear fire. The land is charred and disfigured, saturated with deadly toxins. Life is a nightmarish struggle. The radiation levels have created hideous, mutated human savages. Mentally deranged, they roam in search of food and water. Gruesome violence brings terrible death to those who encounter these murderous mutants. It is an orgy of chaos, madness on a global scale. Savagery knows no limits. There are no nations, no laws, no order. In this grim reality, the forces of good and evil are once more preparing to fight for the future of mankind. Far, far away, a star shines out from the blackness of space. A beacon for the lost, a symbol of hope, an unfailing comfort to those on a journey. Known as the North Star, it has, through the ages, meant many things to many men. Under this eternal light walks the namesake of this star, a man of power and purity. A living beacon of hope, destined to bring light into the darkness. He is a feared man, spoken of in hushed tones. A legendary fighter, able to call on secret powers. Violence is met with worse violence, as Ken destroys the forces of his evil half-brother. Heads roll, bodies fall, and the earth runs red as Ken draws ever nearer to Shin's stronghold in the city of the Southern Cross. The scene is set for an epic struggle between good and evil. What Shin started cannot be stopped. Many will die trying. Many will run. But there is only one Fist of the North Star.